Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It is great to be here on a lovely Wednesday in New York City. I am so happy, as you can see. It's a beautiful day in New York, getting over a tough loss to the Boston Celtics Tuesday night at the Garden, but that's in the rearview mirror. Actually, later today, I'll be heading over to the Garden, the world's most famous arena, the Mecca, the most famous arena in all the world, the most prestigious, the most iconic venue in all of sports. Well, actually, right next door at the theater, I'll be hosting a press conference for the highly anticipated July 11th, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 3 fight that is going to be airing live and somewhat free if you're a subscriber on Netflix. Kind of a big deal. I was thinking about this. I was having another one of those moments earlier today as I was running around getting my stuff ready. Had to break out the suit, had to get here on time, get ready for a big show, massive show today, a lot going on. And I was saying, if you would have told 1995 me that I'd be hosting a show in New York City that had my name on it, where I get to pretty much talk about whatever I want with incredible guests, a WWE champion, a huge name, a former UFC champion and a current superstar, an up-and-comer who's fighting on pay-per-view this weekend, get to interact with all of you, get to work with my dear friends and colleagues, get to come to a nice, beautiful studio, and then after that, go host a press conference in New York City at Madison Square Garden for an historic boxing card that's going to air on some platform called Netflix, which didn't exist in 1995. I never would have believed you. I never would have believed you. And the reason why I feel like I have to say this, especially as of late, is, if I'm being honest, and I'm sure a lot of people can sympathize with this, and I'm sure a lot of people can understand where I'm coming from. I have felt, especially in the last few months, while everything is going great and we're building this thing, I have felt some kind of like brain fog. And I've, you come on the show, you do the thing, you talk, you crack jokes, this and that, but I can't get rid of the thing in my brain, the fogginess in my brain, the cloudiness in my brain. And I do feel like it is opening up, but, I've talked about the ups and downs. I've talked about feeling down. I've talked about talking to people and all that stuff. And I don't know exactly where I'm at right now, but when I have these days and when I have these moments, I do feel like it is very, very important to recognize them, to not necessarily smell the flowers, but it's I think I speak for all of us. Like, this has been a grind over the last few months, and I don't think that that's necessarily the reason for the fogginess. I just think part of it is life, part of it is stuff going on, part of it is just growing up, and I want to be appreciative and grateful for all these things, and I have a lot to be grateful for, and today is one of those days, and I don't bring them up to kind of like spike the football or to boast about them. I bring them up because I want whomever is out there listening or watching who's a fan of what we do to feel like they're a part of it as well, to revel in it as well with all of us, and to highlight and to celebrate the good moments. And so I feel like I'm in that state at the moment, and I'm looking forward to what should be a great day. It really should be a great day, a great show we have planned for all of you as we inch closer to UFC 314. It goes down this Saturday in beautiful Miami, the 305, hosting another big event, headlined, of course, by Alex Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez for the vacant featherweight title. At least it will be vacant by the time Saturday night rolls around. We'll talk a lot about that. I know there's a lot of questions regarding 314 when we get to On the Nose, so we'll do that. Prior to that, we'll be joined by Chase Hooper, who is fighting a man who is 16 years older than him on Saturday, one of the most beloved and decorated veterans on the roster. Of course, Jim Miller is a guy who is maybe now gunning for UFC 400, a spot on that card. He fought on 100, 200, recently last year 300, and so it's Jim Miller against Chase Hooper. Chase coming off a win over Clay Guida. Is he on a tour now of fighting the elder statesman? We'll talk to Chase. Always appreciate talking to him. Sneaky great. Maybe not even that sneaky, but just a damn good Twitter feed. He's a good tweeter. He's got a lot of bangers. We'll talk to Chase. He's in Miami gearing up for Saturday, 3/14. Prior to that, Brandon Moreno, the assassin baby, coming off that huge win just about 2 weeks or so ago over Steve Erceg, finally winning in Mexico City as a member of the UFC roster. Where does he fit in the flyweight division? What are his thoughts on Kyoji Horiguchi rejoining the UFC? An apparent Kai Kara France versus Alex Pantoja title fight coming up maybe as soon as June 28th. All that and more we shall talk with one of the good guys in the game, Brandon Moreno. Prior to that, it's a great honor, a privilege, a pleasure to have one of the best pro wrestlers in the world today, the Ring General himself, Walter, a.k.a. Gunther, who is the world heavyweight champ, who is the longest reigning IC champ, 666 days, believe it or not, consecutive, who will be defending his title next weekend at WrestleMania against main event Jey Uso. Love this guy. Huge fan of his. Huge fan of the way in which he conducts himself. Huge fan of the way in which he talks about the business, treats the business, is an old school throwback. Just an amazing type of talent. A guy who I feel like would be successful in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. He is one of one. And he's the pride of Austria, now living, of course, in the United States. He'll join us in studio, Gunther in studio at 2 o'clock. And so this is very exciting. Look at this. We are so back, baby. We are so back. Diego Lopez looks like the Undertaker in that picture on the right. It's like old school Undertaker when he was wearing the leather jacket and he was like part bike rider, part dead man. Anyway, much to discuss with these gentlemen. We'll get into it. And then some, and can't wait for the press conference later today. That's going to be a lot of fun as well. But you know we like to shoot on Wednesdays, so time now for everyone's favorite segment of the week. It is time. It's time for On the Nose. Yeah. ArielHelwani.substack.com is the place to send the questions, and there are a ton. I see 146 comments, and so I love the fact that this community continues to thrive. And we appreciate everyone in the chat. We'll get to the super chats as well. Thumbs up to the chat. We love you. We love you. Now, we move along to the first question. And you know what's so crazy about this first question? This first question was a topic that I wanted to get to yesterday, but we ran out of time. And so I love the fact that Lex is stepping up first with an old-fashioned hot tag. This is the question. Hi, Ariel. Quick one. What do you think are the chances Volk retires if he loses a brutal one? Now, I posed this question to the boys in the back yesterday as we were preparing. I didn't say brutal one, but I said, I do feel like there is a chance that if Volk loses, or Volk, I know you guys get upset, that Volk loses on Saturday, I do feel like there is a chance that he retires. Now, before we get to all of that, I do want to make mention of this. This is very exciting stuff. Today's On the Nose is presented by our good friends over at Intuit TurboTax. We love these guys. I did a nice little skit for them on, when was it? 2 Fridays ago. April 15th. Rapidly approaching. Get those taxes in. Very easy to use. Submit your taxes. Knock out your taxes. Ground and pound your taxes. There they are, right there. Thank you for the support. TurboTax. We love you guys. So they are presenting this edition of On the Nose. Back to Old Man Volk. Is this, in fact, going to be do or die for him in the sense that if he loses, do we think he is going to hang it up? I think this is a fair question to ask, guys. Why do I think this is a fair question to ask? Because he told us about a month and a half or so ago that he was toying with the idea of, like, should I even come back? Now, I don't think he got to the point of, like, but it seemed like for the first time, perhaps in his career, this was a thing. Life is good. I'm comfortable. Why go through all of this? I climbed the mountain. I beat them all. What's the point? Now, he's not getting a chance to run it back with Ilya. He's getting a chance to fight someone he's never fought before. If, in fact, he loses, I would not be surprised, shocked. He says no mas. I also wouldn't be surprised if he continues. But I do think it's a fair question to ask. I think it is a very real thing. I'm not really quite sure where I stand, I don't think anyone knows. Perhaps someone will ask him today or tomorrow, but I do think it's a very fair question to ponder, and I think it's a major storyline heading into Saturday. What do you think, PT?
I think he's accomplished everything that any fighter would set out to in their career. So it gets to the point where you're kind of like, well, why are you still doing this? Obviously, he's still a great fighter. Like I would not be surprised one bit. I wake up on Sunday morning, Volkanovski's got the title back. But at that point, it's like, what else can you do here, mate? You as you said, he's climbed to the top of the mountain. He is unanimously considered one of the greatest featherweights, by some, the greatest featherweight who ever lived. At this point, how can you add to that legacy? He even if he goes out and wins, right, and it's the start of a new title reign, you can't best what he's already done. And I think that's always a reasonable time to start having conversations like this. We've seen him knocked out twice, and he's back in this spot. But you don't want to get to the stage where we are considering what happens beyond another knockout. I think he's a very sensible guy. I think he's a guy who has he has branched his career way further than the fight game. I think we've seen through his fantastic advertisements, his personality, his acting skills. We know about his amazing cooking skills. We know he's a personality that can mix with the likes of Action Bronson and people like this. Like, he has a lot of value outside of the cage as well as inside it. So I think it's a very reasonable question to ask. And honestly, what else is there for this guy to do? That's where he's at. Not a lot of people get to this kind of rarefied air in this sport.
He turns 37 in September. This will be his 31st pro fight. Also was a rugby player to some degree. You know, it's so interesting. You mentioned the commercials. A new one just dropped. It's fantastic. Highly recommend you watching it. We have some clips of it that we can play. I don't want to get dinged playing some of the music or whatever, but look at this guy. He's fantastic. And what's so interesting is the knock on him early on was that he had no personality, that he was vanilla, that he was boring. Now here he is doing this type of stuff, doing the cooking with Volk. He's become one of the most charismatic fighters in his later years. And perhaps that's just because he's comfortable in front of the camera. He's comfortable in his own skin. Does anyone back there think that it is definitive, a loss and he's done, based on what he told us in late February?
No, I don't think it's definitive, but I just echo everything that Pete said. He's accomplished everything that you possibly can. You're getting older. This would be 3 straight losses. If he loses Diego Lopez, I'd be surprised if he's losing him by a decision, so that probably means he got finished. 3 straight finishes isn't something you want to have at his age. At that point, how far are you away from a title shot? I don't think it's definitive, just because we've also heard the struggles he's had when he isn't fighting. I know he says he's in a much better place now, but I absolutely think it would be something he's considering if he loses this one.
Rick?
He had to step out. He's dealing with car service.
Okay. Amazing. There he is. That's great stuff, Rick. That's great stuff. I mean, that's really some of your best work, I think.
Well, you just got to put it in the bucket, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think, Frankie? Retire or no?
Yeah.
No, retiring.
No retire.
Yeah, the guy has said that his mental health depends on fighting. I don't think he's going to give up anytime soon.
By the way, that's a great point.
Mic drop from Big Frankie.
It's also
that's a great point.
It's also it's an issue though at this stage of people's career. And not for a second am I saying it's an issue with Volkanovski, but there is an issue, and I don't think this will pertain to him, where you have guys and they're on big streaks, but their whole lives they've identified as fighters. It's important to them. It's a central characteristic of who they are. I think the fact that we've seen Volkanovski move off into these different paths and have such success in them, that's a great sign. It's showing him that, you know, you can do a lot of things here. You are a very talented man. You can put your hand to anything and people will enjoy it. His fan base are there. You don't reach this status in the sport and just leave and everyone goes, oh, remember that guy? Like, people are going to be interested in what this guy is to do. I think, you know, you've seen it. Like, I don't mind saying, I said it for a long time about Tony Ferguson. I know he has this fight with Dylan Dennis coming up, but you just got the feeling that outside of fighting, this guy, he sees this as the driving force of his life. And I think that's when it becomes problematic. I'm not saying that Volkanovski's in a problematic situation, but if he was to continue on a run like this, that would certainly be an issue as far as I'm concerned.
Yesterday, we told you about fighters on 2-fight losing streaks trying to win a title. Historically, doesn't bode well. Over 35 doesn't bode well. And this being a talking point, and it's just amazing how quickly things can change. He wins that fight in dominant fashion over Yair Rodriguez. He jumps back in there, takes a short notice fight against Islam, which, by the way, prior to Yair, he's that close to beating Islam, and really, it feels like in retrospect the apex of his career, at least for now. Who knows what happens come Saturday and beyond? But it felt like he was the people's champ. Some people, including myself, had him as number one pound for pound, and then you come back maybe a little too soon against Ilya, and we know what happens, and he's out for a year. It's just amazing how quickly things can change and how quickly fighters can be viewed as, vulnerable or beatable or anything like that. And so I'm really curious to see how he looks. By all accounts, he appears to be in tremendous shape. I saw another photo of him and Teofimo Lopez yesterday. I mean, I don't recall him being this. It's not even
chiseled.
Jacked. Yeah, it's like he's chiseled, and it looks like he has like 1% body fat. It's unbelievable. This is him a couple days ago. There's another photo of him that emerged with Teofimo Lopez outside a gym, and he looks to be absolutely shredded. Absolutely shredded. Now, is that an indication? Look, that has nothing to do with your chin. That has nothing to do with your ability to take a punch. And Diego Lopez can freaking hit. He can freaking hit. And so, I am really excited to see how he looks. I am really excited to see how he responds to the year off. I'm excited to see how he fares against Diego Lopez. And if it doesn't go his way, I'm very curious to see if he continues. Because what is he going to do at that point? Does he want to be a gatekeeper? Does he want to be the guy that is fighting the guys who are trying to get to the top? I don't know. And to the point that you guys made, I don't think he's all that interested, and I don't think he should be in that position. So let's see. Always an interesting topic going into a title fight. Lex also asks, DC said on a broadcast recently, Buckley was close to getting the Bilal fight before JDM. How close was he as far as you know? I did not hear that was terribly close. I heard that Buckley was a name discussed potentially for Praches, maybe for Leon, but it didn't materialize, obviously, but I did not hear as far as title fights are concerned. Dorino Glaze, Ariel and BITB, how much longer can Usman sit on the sidelines before he's dropped from the rankings? Bro just yaps on his podcast now. I'm assuming he's referring to Kamaru Usman. I don't think Usman Nurmagomedov has a podcast, but maybe he does. I mean, how much longer? How much long? What does that even mean? Like, he's Kamaru Usman. He's a former champion. He's done the thing. I don't think he has that many left, but I don't think anyone's like putting a gun to his head and saying, you got to come back ASAP, right? I mean, I think there are fights that are, it's kind of like what we were talking about with Volk. Does Kamaru Usman want to be that guy? Taking a short notice fight at 185 against Khamzat is different than being the guy to fight Gary, Buckley, JDM, those types of guys who are trying to build themselves off your name. Maybe he just doesn't want to be that guy. Maybe he is done. I don't know. I'm not a frequent viewer, listener of the pod. I don't know if he's talked about this, but I don't think anyone really wants to be that guy, especially if you were once UFC champion. But I also don't think there's a clock. I don't think anyone's saying. I have always believed that my rule has been, if you don't have a fight booked within a year, and I'm not talking about like you had a fight booked and then you got injured, something like if you do not have anything booked within 365 days, then you are removed from the rankings. His last fight was when? October of 23, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's been booked. So if I were doing divisional rankings, I wouldn't put him in there, not because I'm trying to hate on him, but I just feel like you have to have some kind of rule, and otherwise people just sit there forever.
Yeah, you got to move the division on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Keith, 3 quick ones. Has Pizzi or the crew seen the show Bad Sisters, based in Ireland, all filmed there? A phenomenal show. Highly recommend. I've never heard of it.
Brilliant. It's a great show. It's on
What's
Apple
it about?
TV. It's about sisters. It's very bad, believe it or not. But no, it's really good. It's kind of a murder mystery. Really, really good. A guy who writes famous books over here, kind of a piss take of Irish culture. They're called Ross O'Carroll Kelly. His name is Paul Howard. He's wrote a few episodes, and they're absolutely fantastic. A top recommend from Peter Carroll. I can't get fired up over this because I quite like the show.
And by the way, it doesn't have to be. This song does not represent being fired up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, it does.
We don't want that association.
Yeah. It's just like, it's when you cook, basically. Good, bad,
I'm
ugly.
always cooking them. Just
Yeah.
play it all the
It's
fucking
when it
time.
leans heavily Irish as well, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, okay.
I have an honorable mention, he continues, for the BITB fantasy fight locations that was left off. The Dubai tennis court at the top of the Burj Al Arab, probably the coolest location possible. Lastly,
Did
I-
say that one, by the way.
yeah, that's why.
Guess he wasn't watching.
That's why I just blew right by it. Lastly, I ended fifth in the March Madness bracket, despite picking all Final Four teams correct, the championship game correct, and the winner correct with the exact predicted score, any consolation prize.
No.
By the way,
Shout
Fifth?
out.
you got all of that right, and you still ended up fifth?
If you're not first, you're last.
Seems a little sussy.
You win or learn.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Yes.
sussy. I think a lot of people just had that Final Four.
Big learn coming your way, buddy.
We awarded
Shout
the
Shout out to
airtime.
Kel, our winner.
Kel.
Shout out to Cal, man.
Yeah.
Big win for all business.
He's no Kel.
Hey, by the way, have we connected with him?
There was an email sent to see if we
Okay.
could coordinate.
James Portland. Hola, Ariel. About 2 months ago, I asked if CM Punk finally main eventing WrestleMania in a random triple threat was a good idea, and you didn't seem into it. Still don't. I wasn't a fan of the idea at first, but the build has been insane and can't wait to see what happens. Are you good with this main eventing night one, or do you think it should still be Jay Gunther? I think the heavyweight champ should be the main event. It's the bigger match, but I feel like the heavyweight champ. It's weird to me that the two winners of the Royal Rumble are not headlining either night. I think that's a little bit weird. It kind of the Rumble should be your ticket to main eventing WrestleMania. Hard to obviously, ignore Roman, Seth, Punk. I'm not a huge fan of Triple Threat. Been a good story, but I'm a traditionalist, okay? Sue me. John Doe. Hey, Ariel, this is for PT, clearing up a question he had. You had mentioned who were my other top 5 Irishmen last week. Here's the order. Pete, the Ariel
Yes.
Helwani Show version. Liam Nielsen, the Grey movie version. C.S.
show.
Lewis
Great show.
Shout out.
is 3. Number 4 is actually PT, the Crack version.
Oh,
And
thank you.
5 is, believe it or not, PT, the Blanchardstown Hero version.
Yeah, it's a lot of people's favorites, especially if they're in trouble. That's when they want that one to kick in. It's just something that, it's like the red mist, we'll say, when I turn into Batman.
And
Can't
yes,
remember a
he
lot of it.
adds, overall, PT is the best looking guy in the show. Glad to clear that up. Ariel Helwani version show PT to be clear.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with him for
Yeah.
what it's worth. I agree.
No love for production Twitter Pete, who became famous over the weekend, huh? That's my favorite pizza.
That's right. Shout out on the UFC broadcast. Pretty big deal.
Yeah, that was big.
Pretty fucking big
How
deal.
much has life changed?
It's every day. Everything is a hassle now. Going to the supermarket, stopped every 2 seconds. Are you the guy
Yeah.
who was mentioned seconds before Lerone Murphy's emphatic victory over Josh Emmett? And I'm like, yeah, it was me. And then a queue forms, and then
Emphatic, huh?
I don't.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Um,
I'll stay the same. I'm still the same man for what it's worth.
No,
It hasn't changed me. It hasn't changed me.
I would expect nothing less. Sean Plant, hello Ariel. This is for GC. Will we ever see Fight Feast make its way down to Austin, Texas? We have the occasional fight night here every year or so, and there is tons of great food awaiting the lads.
Yeah, if there's a fight night in Austin, Texas,
What is Austin, Texas food? What do we
Barbecue.
I would assume, yeah, we would go get some
Terry
barbecue.
Black's.
Collard greens,
Movies.
collard greens.
Collard greens.
Sure, Joe Rogan has a restaurant.
Whatever the number one.
Mac
Yeah,
and
we
cheese?
could go to the Mothership Comedy Club.
Elk.
Taco Cabana.
We would just just
What's
go
the
to
spot in
Austin?
Austin? Austin is one of
Terry
the
Black's.
one of the few remaining cities in America that I've never been to. That I
And the
really
only
like
other
to
one's
go.
Portland, right?
Yeah, I think I've said this a few times.
I would love to go to Austin.
Austin, Portland. I need another run in New Orleans. I was just there for 48 hours. I was so nervous. I felt like I felt like Lupe Godinez on fight night. I was so nervous.
Why were you
Did you want to
nervous?
go to
This was
Des
my
Moines?
first NBA
Iowa?
sideline game.
Oh,
Myself,
okay.
Mike Breen.
At the
and,
Smoothie Center.
At the Smoothie Center. Mavs, Pelicans, Porzingis back. And I was dealing with the worst imposter syndrome of my life. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? How did I end up here? I did go to Café du Monde. Do you guys know what Café du Monde is?
Yeah, Ben.
Of course.
You want to talk
World
about like
Cafe.
moments where you're like, what the fuck? It's Café du Monde is me and Mike Breen sharing beignets. Mike Breen,
What's
by the way,
beignets?
for those that don't know, is the voice of the NBA, the voice of the New York Knicks. I'm like, how did I end up here? How is this
Incredible.
possible? We're both dipping beignets into hot chocolate together.
Beignets is a
Zion
little
there?
overrated.
Yo, have you ever had beignets with Mike Brain?
Not
I
with
don't know
Mike
what that
Brain,
is.
but I've had the Cafe du Monde beignets.
It's divine. All right.
What the fuck is a beignet?
It's like a little like a donut. Like
Dough.
It's just like fried dough.
Let's call it a
powdered
donut.
dough. Powdered
Sounds,
sugar
sounds
dough.
fantastic.
Hey,
Sounds
get out-
absolutely fantastic.
Get out of Ireland. All right. Learn a thing or two about French
I'm
cuisine.
trying that.
okay?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
If Dustin Poirier fights there later this year.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one. Smoothie King. Sean Plant. Hello, Ariel and the Aspen lads.
Very clever.
It was right there, but it's great. It's great.
It was good. Not bad. Corey Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley is the fight bantamweight is needed for far too long. Do you think we are close to seeing that fight come to fruition? I mean, a lot of things have to happen. We've got Corey in Des Moines in a little less than a month. We've got Suga fighting for the belt. Is there a world where Corey wins, Suga wins?
It's tough.
Is there a world where Corey wins, Suga loses?
It's tough.
I can't tell. Is there a world where Corey loses, Suga loses?
There is.
Oh, that was
You should have said
yeah, that
Oh, that was tough.
or
That's tough.
and no, that might be the best permutation if you want that fight. I think the only permutation that doesn't get us to fight is Corey loses, Suga wins. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
But why is that? I think that's a great fight. But is that the fight that like bantamweight has needed? I don't feel like that's that for me.
Jan O'Malley 5 rounds.
Jan and
That's the
O'Malley is the one I want.
Yes, but we saw it. I would love to see. I would love to see it again. But I would love to see Sandhagen versus O'Malley at some point.
No pushback
Over
from
Jan
me.
rematch.
Love that fight. Jan versus O'Malley does a lot more for me.
I'm with Rick.
All right. Hut. Ariel, Sugar Sean stated that he doesn't really have a choice when it comes to showing up for media days and whatnot. Any idea if fighters pay for their own travel when it comes to these obligations? No, absolutely not. And it's not like any random media day. This is the kickoff press conference. He's going to be there. Marab's going to be there. Juliana, Kayla. I do have a bit of breaking news. I can tell you not. I don't have too much. Thank you. I don't want to give away too much, but I do feel like the ice is thinning between myself and our dear Venezuelan vixen. There maybe was a phone call yesterday that really advanced things in a very, very positive manner. So stay tuned. Anyway, he says, secondly, how in the hell are fighters considered independent contractors when there's clearly no independence in what they do? Yeah, they're not.
Let's
They
not
wear
get into this old nutshell.
a uniform, they have a boss, they have to drug test 365, they have to tell the organization where they are. They are not. They are absolutely not. They may fight 3 times a year, but anyone that has to tell anyone where they are literally 365 days a year, and if you don't, you get a strike against you, is not an independent contractor. When I call, as the example I always say, when I call someone to fix my garage, I don't say, hey, you have to dress this way. I don't say, hey, let me know about all your jobs in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I don't say, hey, I need to know where you live and all this stuff. It's crazy. Matt from BC, probably a long shot for the BITB to run a pound-for-pound shit stories, but can't believe Ariel is the only one with some real stinkers. Pizzi and Frank, the floor is yours. What? No,
Why
we're not doing this.
Pizzi and Frank? Do they look like?
Does he actually
They have
literally
shit
mean like? I thought initially I try to read these like very quickly before I actually read them, and I thought he meant like just bad life stories.
No. He means like shit stories like the one you told last week about
I'm good.
poop.
Oh,
Poop
about
stories.
yes.
turning into the place and exploding.
A lot of
fire.
people mentioned how much enjoyment you got out of that story.
Dude, it's
really did.
hilarious. Like
It was-
the fact that I was the only one laughing. Like you're telling us about how like your bowels are about to implode, and then you turn into the gas station so hard your tire actually explodes, and then you're like, "I'll deal with that in a second."
Yeah.
Run inside and just
was awful.
To be
reliving it
fair, I knew about this story at the time that it had happened.
I know
was like, I
you're
got to
telling this.
recap
I'm
the
dying
next day.
laughing, and then Pizzi and Rick are just like,
Do you see what I was doing? I had a 1,000-yard stare because I too have been in that situation.
Yeah.
Many times.
"We've all been
On
in
a
it, and it's
weekly-
hilarious."
On a weekly occurrence.
The-
It's hilarious after the fact, GC.
Is
but
this
in
not after the
moment, it
fact?
was
Are we not
one of the most-
years removed from it?
It's had a lasting impact on
The
my
worst
life.
part was the car part because like it's just like it's one thing like
I'd have shot in the car if you had asked me. I'd have went.
Wow.
yeah Yeah.
Win or learn.
I mean, I had one this weekend where I was at a restaurant and I was just like, all right, time to go home. And I was like, how long is it going to take to go home? And the person I was with was like, how about 20 minutes? We get in the car. It says 35. I was like, turn the car back around. Yeah. Drop me back off at the restaurant. I ain't making it 35 minutes.
That is something. Wow. I hope no one's eating. What's up, Ariel and them boys? Zach Thompson asks.
Boys.
We them boys.
Yeah.
Considering what happened this week with Ovechkin's goal record, what are some of the UFC records that you feel may never be broken? For example, I think Max Holloway's significant strike record may never be touched. He's like 1,500 strikes ahead of second place. Didn't we talk about this?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
It's like there's a
it's
mic in
fortuitous.
here.
It's just like
I don't know. I think you mentioned no. Did we talk about Anderson Silva? But then we were like, Islam's one behind.
Silva,
Anderson Silva's
consecutive
won.
wins.
Yep.
But Islam could
Islam's
easily
gonna break.
Marab's takedowns. Yesterday I
No.
was talking about how far ahead he is.
No.
By the end of his career, it might be.
Yeah,
a
I'm
number
saying
that
like the
just,
guy ain't
isn't gonna
slowing
get
down
broken.
anytime soon.
I don't mind the Max Holloway significant strike shout. He just got in so early, and he just has so many strikes accumulated. Demetrius Johnson, 11 title defenses. Like
that
in
feels like the
today's-
hardest one so far.
Honestly, that might be it.
Today's day
that might
and
be
age,
it.
that's tough to break.
It's not a record, but I don't think anybody will leave with be a UFC champion and leave with no losses like Habib. I don't know how you that's not quite a record because it's not a counting stat. It's not cumulative, but I don't foresee anybody being an undefeated UFC champion. and
Okay,
retire.
retire undefeated. UFC
Retire
champion.
undefeated UFC champion.
Yeah.
There's too much money on the other side. Habib gave up hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I don't foresee anybody else.
But
that
I do
comes along
understand it's
being in
not
that position.
exactly Ovechkin like in that.
No.
That's not a stat.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is considered like every sport has its stat, right? What is considered the gold standard? What is considered like
Title defense one is probably it at the moment.
Yeah. So there you have
Although
it.
it's a good shot on the Holloway one because like you have to really start you have to start when Rosas.
Didn't
started.
Frankie Edgar have the record for most time
That one I
Yeah.
don't think is
prestigious?
Yeah, like that can be achieved.
So
Yeah.
right now, actually, total fight time is RDA with 8 hours,
Yeah.
43 minutes, and 19 seconds, and Max Holloway's at 8 hours, 2 minutes, and 43 seconds. So it seems like Holloway has the chance to
Yeah.
surpass that, but after that,
But still, that's not something that you celebrate. You know, like Ovechkin is something you celebrate.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really the title defenses.
8 hours in a UFC octagon of active.
Where's
fight
Frankie
time?
Edgar? Is Frankie
Yeah.
Edgar up there?
number 3.
Oh, yeah. So I guess
And
So
then the
technically,
next
they're only
active
done
is
one
like-
full day's work. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of.
Maybe they are getting paid too much. You know what I'm saying?
Chris
what
asks,
you're saying, man.
I'm in the process of listening to the MMA Hour episodes of the past. Jesus.
Shout out.
People complain that we put on too many shows now. You're listening to old episodes? Damn.
Not enough.
In 2021, you and Anthony Smith twice mentioned on air that something happened in Houston, but said it was a story for later. Have you told the story of what happened in Houston with Anthony Smith, or is this one going to be saved for a highway to Helwani? PT, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I told it on the Ringer show, right?
Refresh my memory.
Me, Anthony Smith, Chael Sonnen, a certain manager.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic story. Yeah,
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. I've told.
Kyle
the story.
Sonnen. Yeah,
Yeah,
legend.
yeah.
So the homework assignment is go
Find-
listen to all the old Ringer
Yes.
episodes as well.
I mean, it's
Twelve.
it's a short story. We're in Houston. Things aren't going great. It's February of 2020. What happened right before that? I don't really think anything happened. But I'm down. I'm in the bowels of the arena, the Toyota Center. This is John Jones versus Dominic Reyes. We go to eat. I'm working for ESPN. We go to eat, so we go down. They're doing the backstage interviews and whatnot. I'm here. Ali Abdelaziz is here. We get closer. I'm walking with Chael. I'm walking with Anthony Smith. They were the other two analysts and some other ESPN employees. We get closer. We get to this close, and he says, "Keep my fighter's name out of your fucking mouth." And I think it was because Usman was in the news or Frank. Nothing bad, but that's what he says, like, right when we're here. And so I stop and I say, "And what? What are you going to do?" And I'm holding my backpack, and I drop the backpack, and I turn to him and I say, "And what? Tell me what you're going to do. Come back." He continues to walk. I say, "Come back." And now I'm like kind of yelling. I say, "Come back right here. Tell me to my face what you're going to do." And he just, "Get my fighter's name." And it just walks off. So Smith and Chael were like, "Damn, that was impressive. You know, because there's this thought out there that I'm some sort of like weakling. Like, wow, didn't think you had that in you. And so then we get to the back, and I think it was actually Chael who told me, if my memory serves me correct, someone said you should get ahead of this because he's probably going to try to spin this into something else. So I called my boss and told him what happened, and sure enough, Ali then went to the UFC and said that this thing happened, which he 1,000% started. And as a result of it, the next event, which was March of 2020, which was Izzy Romero, the UFC said that I couldn't go downstairs anymore because of this. Now, he also told the UFC, because as we were walking, I called him a rat. And I said, what are you going to do, you rat? Because he is a rat. And he told the UFC that I was, what did he say? That I was, I think he said that I was anti-Semitic, believe it or not, in the great irony of ironies. And then they were doing the Tony Ferguson versus Khabib press conference that day for the ill-fated fight in April of 2020. And Ali called the UFC with Khabib and told them that if I was in the building for the Tony Khabib press conference on the Friday before that Izzy Romero fight, that they would not show up to the press conference. That's how ridiculous it got towards the end. Now you kind of understand why by the end I was like, fuck this shit. This is not fun. Who needs to deal with this shit? And so my guy, my boss's boss said to me, I don't care if you want to sit in the front row with a megaphone, all right? No one's going to tell us where you can sit. I chose to sit up top on the set because I'm like, I don't need any of this crap. Like, I'm just going to sit there. I'm not asking a question. Who cares where I sit? That comes and goes. Next day, we get to the event. I'm told I can't go through with everyone else. I have to go through the fucking freight entrance. Everyone gets out of the car. Chael says, I go where he goes. Chael walks with me through the freight entrance. And that ends up being the last event that I go to. Just to give you a taste of how ridiculous all this shit was. And I ain't walking through no freight entrance or being treated like I'm some second tier substandard human because fucking Ali Abdelaziz is on the UFC payroll and they're going to listen to him because he has big time fighters. Fuck that shit. So anyway, thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate it. But there it is in short. Here I am trying to like be all like peace and love and you guys
so full of gratitude.
Fuck me. Okay, not a good question there.
now you're starting to scrutinize.
Yeah, I mean, golly, no. If you guys only knew what that
you handled
one was.
it well.
No. There's another one. Hey Ariel, I was watching the Lakers game last night. This is Gary, where Luka got ejected for trash talking a fan. The ejection was nonsense. I couldn't agree more. The ref thought that he was talking to him. How do you get that? How do you get that wrong? People pay top dollar to go to these games and you're throwing out the guy because you got it wrong? That's crazy. But it got me wondering, what BS referee moment got you most enraged in any sport? I mean, I get pretty enraged when it comes to the refs. Well, I'll tell you what, Charles Smith got hacked in 1993, Game 5. He 1,000% got hacked by the Bulls. But, you know, we got the 4-point play later on and the Hubert Davis 3 in 1994. So I don't know if you're referring. He's saying, for me, it was when Vince Carter, as a Brooklyn Net, slapped Maurice Peterson of the Raptors in the face, and Peterson flicks his arm forward to slap Carter back, and Peterson got ejected. My blood boiled that day when I was 12 or 13, and it's boiling right now just thinking about it.
Even worse is, aren't they like super friendly and they were like playing around? That was the big thing.
Yeah, that's right.
They were playing around and it wasn't even
teammates.
serious.
Mo Pete.
Yeah.
How's it, Ariel? Bots in the basement and Pete C. I love how every single greeting is different. I plan on going to my first UFC event in June at the Peru, and I'm excited to cop some merch at the arena. What's some of the best merch you have bought at a UFC event or another live fighting event? I mean, golly, if you're looking for great merch.
I was scared for a second.
Don't go to UFC events.
Yeah, or just like get
the
your
merch
own.
is ass.
By the way, WWE has great merch. One of my favorite shirts that I ever got at a WWE event was WrestleMania 18. Hogan, Rock, Icon versus Icon. I rocked the shit out of that shirt back in the day. I was fucking cool. Also, I had another one from No Way Out. But GC, you would know better than anyone.
He's going to get a UFC 316 shirt and then the shitty poster screen printed on the back. Couple washes, it'll be too small for you. $40. Thanks.
But
have a good day.
Isn't the move in 2025 to buy the merch ahead of time and then come to the event with the merch? Isn't that like
buy
That's
the
black
merch for
belt
your
shit.
for
who
your
buys the
favorite
merch
fighter.
at the arena anymore?
Well, if you want to get a poster, they might only be selling the signed edition. That's what I got at UFC
Yeah, that
Atlantic
signed
City.
edition of Atlantic City.
That would age well.
Do they have those? Do they have those like at the merch stand, the signed ones, or do you have to
They
like?
only
They
had the
only
signed
had the
ones.
signed.
Yeah,
wow.
he only had one. Yeah.
And you didn't want it.
Hell no, it was like $250 for Blanchfield.
Do they
and
still do the
Fiorillo.
programs? The programs used to be nice.
Nah, no
There's
program.
Did
Then
you
they got
buy
pretty
it?
bad.
Did you buy it, GC?
What?
The 250.
Fuck no.
Yo, that's
What am I
It
going to
would
do
have
with
been
that?
Any
an
bangers
ironic-
on there? Wasn't
an
Buckley
ironic
on there?
purchase.
Yeah,
No,
Buckley versus
Luque?
Nursulton. Oh yeah, it was the Luque fight.
it was the horrible Luque performance.
Boardwalk Hall. How would you rate it? I always wanted to go there.
It wasn't horrible.
It was pretty cool. I
It
thought
wasn't horrible.
Yeah,
everybody
great.
there that night was
fine.
like, "This is a cool venue."
it was fine.
Did it
Thanks,
feel
it was
classic?
dumb.
Did it like?
It felt old school.
Yeah, it did feel old school.
Classic's not the word I would use.
It is classic.
Old.
And
It felt like a
Old's
dump.
the
It felt like an old dump.
All of Atlantic City's a dump.
I think it was
Atlantic
City
City's
made it
trash.
Feel that way.
Boots Stanionis there this weekend.
Yeah, not a great venue.
Enjoy.
Thomas, UFC Des Moines question. Thank you, BITB, for the invite. I know you don't know me too, but it was greatly appreciated. Yes, son of a. I'm actually originally from Iowa, but now work in VT. I believe that's short for Vermont. One thing I wanted to mention was that GC said he's going to wear Iowa State gear to the event. You can't do this. 100% Iowa is a Hawkeye state. Whoever told you not to wear the Hawkeye gear is trying to mislead you. Don't fall for what these people say. It's University of Iowa all day long. Iowa State fans wish and pretend it's a Cyclone state. They're all wrong. Another quick thing, if you pick up or wear some of the Smoky Row coffee merch to the event, people are going to love it. Keep up the great work, and thank you for the invite.
All right, we'll get some Smoky Row coffee merch, but I did not realize the war we were walking into between Iowa and Iowa State. Good news is Rick will have
I'll be
Iowa
representing
merch on.
Iowa. Hawkeyes, let's
I'll
go.
be representing Iowa State.
I got my Caitlin Clark. It's ordered. It's in my house. I'm ready.
TST will be representing Drake.
I forgot TSDs. Wait, Drake?
Yeah.
Like the school?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's in Iowa.
it's in Des Moines.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Quad Cities, baby.
And Drake Riggs as well. He will be also representing Drake.
And Aubrey Graham.
And Aubrey.
Emil, as someone who enjoys the BTS stuff, my question is this. What does the studio look like from your point of view? Are you able to see the boys in the back, or is it just a wall, some cameras, and a bunch of lights? Yeah, I mean, I could call them on the Zoom machine here, but it's just a wall. It's just a wall. They're actually, if I can say, one thing I miss from our old studio is that if you opened the door to the studio, the control room was right next door, so we could talk to each other. Now it's a bit of a trek. It's like a 1 to 2 minute walk all around. I know I keep doing this and none of you know what I'm doing, but like it's a bit of a walk, and so I don't feel that connective tissue that I once did. You know, we talk.
Safe distance.
Miss it.
We're far
Remember-
away. We're far away.
There's a lot that I like. There's a lot that I miss. What do you want me to say?
Remember the original 34th Street studio where
Oh, yeah,
you
you
could
guys were
see us
in.
through the plexiglass.
Yeah.
We were in the same space.
Original pre-U MMA hour.
Oh, yeah, that's
the producer was sitting right there.
I
It
mean,
was
I
me and
remember
him at the same table.
Video Village idea.
It was literally right. He was like, I was staring at Josh. He was right there.
Shout out, Josh.
Crazy. Islam's phlebotomist. I don't know what that is. Ariel and crew, we unfortunately
Phlebotomist?
something like that. We unfortunately may be faced
Because of the IV.
with some tough conversations about some of our favorite UFC personalities after Saturday. What do you think the future holds for the man down under, Muscle Milk Mike? Should they come in second? Is there a demand? I thought he was going to add Jim Miller too. Is there a demand for fun fights involving Volk moving to 55? I saw a lot of people in the chat talking about 55.
Nah, that's not it.
No.
Chandler at 70?
No. Why does Chandler need to leave 55?
Yeah.
Chandler's career is not like this meteoric
Right.
rise of win. Like he's a wins and loss guy. Like Chandler's gonna fight as long as he wants to fight.
Iron Mike and Volk are both winning on Saturday, so we're not even worried.
Wow, declaration. I'm not concerned about Chandler's. Like Chandler's going to be in fun fights no matter what weight class he's at. Volk, I know you guys were discussing this. I had to run out of the room earlier. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see him walk away. And when you planted that seed in my brain, it kind of took root. he seems like a guy who's going to be around the sport forever. So maybe it's not in a fighting capacity. Maybe he becomes a coach, or maybe he becomes some kind of analyst or something. I think it would be a shame if we lost Volk from the sport, because I think he's so good for it, as we've seen with those sport bet promos. Like he's funny and hilarious. He's also obviously super knowledgeable about the X's and O's of the game. I think he'll be around, I have to imagine, because just how much he loves it and how good he is at it.
We continue, and we will be joined in about 15, 20 minutes' time by the great Gunther of WWE fame, the World Heavyweight Champion. Also, we shall be joined by Brandon Moreno and Chase Hooper on this very exciting Wednesday around these parts. Hello, Ariel and crew. Given you've had Natalya, Tom Pestock, and Bret Hart, does this mean your relationship with WWE has improved? Well, Gunther is on today, so I'd say so. Although I will say that Tom and Bret are not really... Well, Bret, was through Roots of Fight. Tom is outside of WWE, but, we're working through the kinks. Hut, Ariel, Conor McGregor's crypto coin failure. What does it mean? Honestly, I'd love to know. Does anyone understand any of this? I don't understand. No. Is it real? Is it not? What's going on? Does anyone know?
No clue.
No idea. All right.
No. Can't be a good thing.
Side note, GC keeps waiting for Brady for the bike challenge, the Aviron bike challenge. I say GC needs to go for anyone and everyone. Let's see some challenges here. Aljo's in far. I'm an Aljoholic. I bet he would do it. Issue the open challenge, GC. Thank you. Love the show.
We're waiting on Brady.
Matt Moe says, Iaquinta GC.
I'm down for Iaquinta. What am I going to do? Beat a real estate agent?
Wow.
Come on.
Wow.
For Brady.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, damn. Victor, good morning, Ariel and team. I'm attending Fight Week in Miami. I remember a couple years ago you were saying Miami has very good acai bowls. Any recommendation as to where the best one is in Miami? Also, any other recommendations? Now,
he's got loads.
Lorley adds, not an acai recommendation, but Miss Crispy Rice has good omakase. Yeah, that's our good friend Andy Mayer. He owns that spot. Miss Crispy Rice, Poke OG, and Mr. Omakase. He's like the king of Miami sushi. Now, I go to a place called Pura Vida. They have great acai, but our very own Andy is a connoisseur of all things Miami. Do you know of any good acai spots?
Not really, not acai, but Venezuelan food out there.
Oh.
Top.
What do we got? Any spot? Any name?
Anywhere in Doral,
okay.
Honestly.
Is that in Miami?
Close enough.
Close enough. All right. There you go.
Just wanted to throw in good Gorgonzola steak down at Smith & Walensky's if you're interested.
No, but you know what? A very unfortunate camera cut there. Did you guys see that bird fly through the window right there? Not through the window, but like in the window. Did you see that just now?
I missed it.
No.
What was it? A hawk?
I don't know what it was, but it was a massive bird. And I don't mean like a good-looking girl. I mean like an actual bird.
I was just thinking, how'd you get up there?
Yeah,
massive. I don't think massive bird would make people believe. Flying by a window would make people believe.
It would in Ireland. It would in Ireland. If someone said there's a massive bird over there, that's
Kyle.
That's what I would think.
Ariel, if Endeavor got rid of Dana White and offered you his job, would you take it?
Become a part of the machine?
Could you imagine?
Sell out for everything? Are you serious?
What's going on, everyone? Who's got the first question? I could do that job. As long as I got Hunter there doing the actual work, I'll be okay.
What media guy would you take on? Who would
Who
be?
Would I ban?
Like, who would your Ariel Helwani be? I'm gone.
No, not you. I was just doing the.
I'm not controversial enough. I love Dana.
I don't know. I was gonna say Mark Ramundi, but he doesn't go anymore.
20 names are in your head.
Fuck you, Mark.
There's so many names, right? There's so many names that I actually would be like, yeah, you're gone, fuck you,
you are
fuck
fake
you,
news.
Fuck you. You're sort of cool.
You know what these media guys do?
Yeah.
Fucking assholes.
Anyway, we continue. Nose, Mr. Helwani, would it be possible to post the On the Nose segments in a separate video on YouTube? Your interviews are great, but would appreciate if the On the Nose segments can be separate videos each week. Let me ask you guys, why can't you just go to the actual video? Do people not want to watch the full? I don't get it. And we also put chapters in there. What's the problem here?
Laziness is the problem.
We're trying to be select. I don't know. Algorithm this, thumbnails that. Just let us cook. Just let us cook. Can you just let us? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Got to focus on cooking.
Yeah. Maybe we need a cooking show.
Let's do it.
Levi.
Could retire.
Ariel, serious question. As you know, 3/14 is Pesach night. I do know this. So as a Shomer Shabbos Yom Tov fellow, do I try and will it be a hard effort to not get the event spoiled till Monday night? No chance. And even then, try to rewatch the whole event? Or is it not worth the headache? Well, listen, if you turn your phone off like my brother does, yeah, just don't turn it on again until you actually finish watching it, because if you're a fan, I think something's going to pop up.
Also, how do you navigate to the replay on ESPN Plus without seeing what happened?
You mean
What
like
is Shabbos?
when you go on the... Okay, so Friday night to Saturday night, you cannot use electricity, you cannot use money, you cannot go in a car. It's supposed to be very stripped down pure, right? Saturday night and Sunday are the equivalent of that because it's the first 2 nights of Passover and we do Seders. It's an awful time for a pay-per-view, if I'm being honest. So if you
And
are...
the Masters. I mean, Jesus.
And the Masters as well, yeah. So if you are observant, you cannot watch the pay-per-view. In fact, I know of people who live in Miami that have gone to all the UFC events, and this time they can't go because it falls on this Saturday. They're devastated. I wish Mark Ratner would have spoke up when they were scheduling. In any event, I think if you could get to Plus, the key is how do you get around ESPN.com, because the front page will give it away. But if you get to Plus, they've done a good job, really because of Steve-O. Steve-O was the one that changed the whole
I remember
format.
mentioning that, yeah.
Steve-O was very upset that the thumbnail would give away the result, and he mentioned it way back in the day on my ESPN show, and they changed it in the early days of Plus as a result. Shout out to the whole team over there, Dan Riccio and company. They actually listened and changed it. So if you could get by all the .com stuff and get straight to the Plus platform, I think you'll be okay.
That's what kids are for. You just have your kids navigate over there
Sometimes
for
they'll press on the wrong thing, screw everything up.
you. Those tax credits.
Yeah. Hi, Ariel and crew. What are your thoughts on the WrestleMania card? And are the BITB boys going to do a parlay for it? Side note, it's great. It's over Easter weekend in the UK, so I can stay up on Sunday to watch it. This brings up a good point. I do want to let you know that next week, our schedule is a little different. It's Monday, AH show, live from Parts Unknown. Tuesday, Boys in the Back. Wednesday, The Crack.
What?
Thursday, Ariel Helwani looks back at Classic Interviews Volume 2. Friday, WrestleMania Roundtable with our incredible uncrowned WrestleMania team. And yeah, that's about it. So it's going to be a bit of a different week. Also, I do want to let you know that Monday's program, post pay-per-view Monday, post 314 pay-per-view Monday. By the way, it has come to my attention that the area code of Missouri is the 314. Who hails from Missouri? Michael Chandler. Anyway, that's going to start at 12 Eastern. So please make note of that. 12 Eastern, Monday, special start time. Am I missing anything else? Are the boys going to do any kind of betting regarding WrestleMania? GC would know better than
I don't think you can do parlays, but I do have some odds. Jey Uso minus 600.
Bro. Minus 600?
Yeah.
Don't tell Gunther that.
I know.
Minus 600? He's
The Kayla Harrison.
He's Kayla Harrison levels.
Yeah. The challenger. The biggest favorite challenger in WWE history.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jesus.
there's some interesting ones here. John Cena minus 210 to Cody Rhodes.
Wow. I'm going to ask Gunther about this. Is he in the building, by the way?
I think so, because Rick left.
Okay.
Rick manages left work, period, though.
Jack, what's the crack, lads? Quick one for Father Carol. Pizzi, what do you think is the worst county? Personally, I think it's Monaghan. Wow. It's the biggest waste of space. Nothing there except bog and culchies. Better off being flattened and turned into a big Sentra. P.S. Hearing Shauna Bannon say, yup, Talit in the O2 a few weeks ago was pure magic. Did I get all of those names right?
Tala. No, the T is silent at the end of that. It's just Tala. Tala.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a very tough question. I like everywhere in Ireland, to be honest. I think it's the greatest place in the world. I like every place I go to. I genuinely... Do I have a county I hate? I don't. I genuinely love every inch and every centimeter of this beautiful island.
Okay.
Sorry. But I get where you're coming from with Monahan too.
No, 100%. Coleman T, hear me out. Ariel, I'm sorry, but your weekly anime post has arrived. I have 2 recommendations for you to watch with your kids that even you will enjoy. First up, Blue Lock. It's a soccer anime about a program that locks all the best high school strikers in a facility, put them through challenges to find the best in the world. Battle Royal, last man standing, if you will. Anyone know about this? Sounds pretty fun.
No.
Yes.
Second up, Haiku. It's a volleyball anime. Undersized kid wants to be the best spiker in the world. Again, no superpowers, amazing storyline, awesome art, insanely hyped games. I promise you will find true joy watching these with your kids. Where do I watch them is the question.
Crunchyroll, I think, is the anime
shout out.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what I watch Dragon Ball Z.
What the hell is Crunchyroll?
Crunchyroll's a
Is-
streaming.
I've never
streaming
watched
site.
any
You're kidding
anime
me.
in my
Used to
life.
be-
Sounds like an item on a sushi
Well, I mean,
menu.
that's what it's named after.
Oh, yeah.
Very astute of you to put those
Yeah.
two together.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the first one to notice that.
Hey, Frank, Matt has a question.
Oh no, Matt. So
What are the chances we get the video up on
yeah, man.
Spotify?
Hey, actually, update on that.
I'd love to pop in and see reactions instead of having to swap to YouTube to scrub to the moment. Yeah, it's not a bad shout.
There is an update.
Oh, go.
He has a
Matt?
great point. He has a great point there.
Matt, go ahead and hold your breath.
Okay, that's the update. I don't appreciate you
I'm just saying,
having
hold
that
your
patronizing.
breath. Have the faith.
Oh, okay.
Sorry
So you're
about that,
saying
Matt.
things are happening.
Yeah, it's coming for
Oh yeah.
sure.
Just
yeah.
Is that
Big-
true?
Yeah,
big
no
breath
doubt.
in, hold it tight, and we'll get there.
All right. Brad Ninja Dragon, us members of Gator Nation appreciate your congratulations. And I should say our beloved coach, Todd Golden, is a fellow Jew. Yeah.
What a name. Todd fucking Golden. Jesus Christ.
Sean Plant
was
asks,
His middle name is fucking?
did I say that?
Did I say that? Drop a fucking in there. Sorry.
Hello, Ariel. Who do you think is the biggest gooner in the UFC? Hashtag Jay the Peen, hashtag Bosch.
P the pen.
Do you know what?
I thought he meant Arsenal fan.
What is
after their
Gooner?
Big win.
Yeah, that is.
Gooner?
Yeah.
Is it a bad thing?
It's a,
I thought it was like an Arsenal thing.
it's a
It
J
is.
or a
That's what I thought
P.
it
It
was.
is.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
also, Jay
All
with
right,
the Peen.
Oh, is that what that is? A wanker?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wanker, yeah.
You know, this,
You call it a
this,
gooner.
this reminds me when I did a show with Ade in
Someone who does
London,
it too much.
and I said bollocks, and I thought bollocks was just like my butt, and he's like,
Ada's
no.
reaction was out of control. Out of control.
He made it seem like I dropped like a slur, right? I mean,
a
like,
C
It
word.
was
You
yeah.
know,
bad, yeah.
I didn't think it was that.
bollocks is just a pair of balls.
Yeah, I
Like, get
didn't
over
think,
it. You know
like,
what I mean?
yeah,
This is a load of bollocks.
yeah.
You say it on Star Trek, you can say it anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Do you say it on Star Trek?
Colomini.
I mean,
Shout
Star
out.
Trek is
Colomini.
notoriously no longer on air because of
Is-
Colomini said it on Star Trek.
Star
They
Trek
said, what would an
Irish?
Irishman?
Are you
They
talking
said, what
Star
would an
Trek or Star
Irishman?
Wars? I never know what.
They said, what would an Irishman say in this situation? And he said that he'd probably say bollocks. Thank you. It's a beautiful word. It can mean anything. It can mean, what are you doing? You know what I mean? This is a load of bollocks. I don't like it. He's talking bollocks. He is talking absolute shit. That fella's a bit of a bollocks. He's a big fucking hairy ball bag. It's so dynamic.
We like to apologize for the language.
It's
Oh
just
my
the
God.
body, guys. It's
By the way,
just
imagine
anatomy.
someone like open the Yahoo Sports app right now.
It's just- imagine the people
You're
in the
welcome.
kitchen right now that are like, why?
No, they
is-
can't hear it. They can't hear it. They just see an impassioned Irishman, what they think speaking about fighting.
Hey, one last one, guys. It's good to end on this note. Number 28, I do believe. Pudding Boy asks, I'm genuinely curious why you like Juliana Pena so much. And you know what? He goes into a long thing, and I say, we love Juliana Pena because she is the very definition of a fighter. She scratched her way to the top. She had many setbacks. She almost died in a car accident. She had a broken back. She faced adversity head on. She built herself up. She beat the GOAT in a shocker and one of the greatest upsets and performances by a challenger in the history of the sport. She stumbled. She was out. She was injured. She regained her belt, and she's one of the great shit talkers in the sport and one of the great representatives of women's MMA. And so she will always have a home here, whether she likes it or not, whether she believes it or not. And we appreciate her very much. We also appreciate our good friends over at TurboTax. Damn it. Right there. Shout out to TurboTax. Much love to them. We do appreciate them very much. Anyone that wants to be on this team and invest in what we're doing here, I appreciate them more than you can possibly know. The app is easy to use. tax season is upon us. 6 days away, April 15th. Submit, ground and pound, knockout. You know all those fun puns. Get it done in the next 6 days. So, Erwin R. Shyster doesn't come after you. You know what I'm saying? That's the IRS. All right. Thank you very much for all your questions. Back into the show, we shall answer some super chats. All right. So I look forward to those as well. But my friends, great honor, great privilege. You know how much I admire and appreciate this man, and the fact with, just some 10 or so days away from WrestleMania, the fact that he would come in to our studio to chop it up, to talk with all of us. I don't mean actual chops because he's very good at those. Means a whole lot. So without further ado, let us say hello to the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, the reigning defending World Heavyweight Champion, the pride of Austria, formerly known as Walter, now known as Gunther, the Ring General. How are you, sir?
I'm very good.
It's a great pleasure to have you
Very
here.
nice introduction.
Oh, thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Please have a seat. There he is, my old friend Greg. Please have a seat, and you've brought some gold. How about this?
Yes, very nice, right?
This is a nice title. Dare I say,
Put it right there.
the nicest title of them all.
Appreciate that.
Because,
Thank
it's perfect for you because it's a throwback title. It looks like the old WCW World Heavyweight title, right?
I agree. I guess that's the inspiration of it. So I like that too.
Yes, it
Well,
fits you
also-
perfectly. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks
a
for having
huge deal for us, and we're big fans of yours. And I understand, actually, yesterday you were at your very first hockey game. How's that possible? A guy who grew up in Austria. I know it's not huge over there,
No, it's not.
Austria, but it's getting a little bit more. You never went to a hockey game of any kind?
No.
Really?
We have a team in Vienna. I think the Vienna Capitals.
Okay.
But I guess they did well for a while, and then it disappeared out of the public eye. Like to me, at least. Switzerland is kind of quite big in
Yes.
in hockey. But yeah,
Switzerland,
was my
Slovakia, Czech Republic.
Yes.
Those places. What did you think?
I liked it. It was very in and out because I just came back from Europe.
Okay, yes.
And then I flew in from Raw and went there, so I left as soon as I could because
Okay.
I needed to sleep. I passed out on my couch last night.
You're one of those VIPs. You show up for the appearance and then you head out the back door.
No, usually I try to take it in whenever I get a chance to do a appearance like that, right?
Sure.
So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go again in the future when the time allows it. It's a nice thing to take your parents when they visit and stuff. I guess,
sure.
Right?
I like to look at what people who are coming on the show, what they are doing, who they are talking to, recent appearances. Because I don't want to ask the same things, and I just want to know what's going on. This is an observation. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you don't do a lot of interviews. I feel like I see a ton of the top. I see a ton with Cody, but I couldn't find a lot of recent long form Gunther interviews. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah. I don't know if there's a reason for it. I've done more when I started out, when I was IC champion, and then it calmed down again. It's maybe something I should put more pressure on to that.
But maybe that gives you some mystique. That I actually kind of liked it.
Yeah,
because it makes it feel special. I don't feel like you're oversaturated, overexposed.
Yeah, I always liked that. I always thought it to be overexposed all the time. At least in my case, doesn't help me.
Mm-hmm.
I think to do appearances here and there and then talk about certain things is interesting, but I don't know. Always my gut feeling was always like just be less out there, and then it means more.
I wondered, because it's often been said that you're old school, that you're a throwback, if perhaps you don't like doing it because you don't want to be one of those guys who pulls back the curtain too much. You respect the business so much that you don't want to break kayfabe, as they say.
It's not even about that. I think everything very much progressed and stuff, but I think the persona that I am on TV, it helps if there's mystique about it, if people can't really tell what I'm up to or what I'm not up to. And yeah, in the indies, I could kind of like self-manage that, right? Because there's nobody that was definitely something with WWE because they're so out there that both sides had to get used to when we started working together. I guess they just balanced it out by now. So,
are you happy with what you're doing now?
I am, yes. How can I? I'm living the dream. Like, quite objectively, when I look at my career, it's like the last few years have been, everything I always worked for in, a business sense, but also like in what I wanted to be as a wrestler. And I can't complain.
You say you're living the dream, but I've also heard you say multiple times you didn't grow up dreaming of being a WrestleMania main eventer.
Yeah.
You dreamed of New Japan. You dreamed of so why do you say you're living the dream if quite literally maybe this wasn't the dream early on?
I mean, it still is. I always wanted to be a wrestler and wrestle on a high level, and have great matches and make my money with it, and that's what I'm doing. So I was fortunate enough. I lived my dream before I joined WWE because I could make a living of this, and I was quite happy when it comes to that. But also, I guess as a person, you develop and things change, and I have a family now that I have to or want to provide for. That's so there's goals change when that happens too, for example. And yeah, where I'm right now, I feel very privileged, but also very proud of that. It's like a position with a lot of responsibility and a lot of trust that is given, and to be able to fulfill that and carry that, I think that's a big achievement for myself. Like the standard that I set for myself, what I want to be, and yeah, it's living the dream.
How's fatherhood, by the way?
Great.
How old is your child?
He's 15 months now.
15 months. Okay.
Yeah. But he's already up and running and everything. Very active. It's easier for me than for my wife, obviously, because I dip in and out. I travel a lot, so when I come home, I'm the superstar.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, it's as you know, it's a big learning experience.
Sure.
It's humbling. It's exciting, but it's like also, yeah, it's a challenge, a positive one, I would say.
Someone was making fun of me before the show, saying that, and I think we're about to reach that point, saying that he was going to set the line at 6 minutes of me mentioning to you that my son's name is Walter. But I've already mentioned this to you in the
you
past.
did before, yeah.
So I don't need to mention it again. I am wondering, though, if perhaps you called your son Walter Jr.
His second name is Walter, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Not bad, not bad.
Because my father is named Walter, and you can't give down
Oh, you
3
can't?
times in a row. I
Why
mean,
not?
You can. I think there's like somebody once told me it's kind of like bad luck if you do it. I don't know. So
Really?
I did.
Is that an Austrian thing?
It might be. I never investigated even more, but then I thought it's a nice touch to
Sure.
like do the second name.
Because here in America, there's second, third, there's, you could go all the way down to fourth, I've seen. But you wanted to give him his own identity, if you will.
Yeah.
Do you want him to be a wrestler? Do you even think about that, or are you too...
No,
Would you like for him to follow in your footsteps?
That's a bit early.
Yeah.
1.5 years old now. I'm focused on him.
It happens fast, my friend.
It does, but now I'm focused on, I really hope he starts using the fork soon and stuff like that.
Go to the bathroom on his own,
yes,
body train.
baby steps.
Okay.
And then
Not to get
whatever
ahead of
makes him
ourselves.
happy.
I was once in those shoes. Now my oldest son is about to turn 13, so
Oh, here we go.
it happens very quickly. But yes, you are a little bit away from all that. I asked you if you were happy. And part of the reason why I asked you that was because this is WrestleMania season, as they say, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a very busy time, I would imagine, and it's all culminating to your version of the Super Bowl. It all comes. And when I ask if you're happy, it's on multiple fronts. Happy with what you're doing, but also what you are doing on television, what you are doing with Jey Uso. Are you happy with the program, the rivalry that you have?
I am, yes. I think especially the last 2 weeks were very important, and that's, yeah.
Why did you hesitate there for a moment?
What do you mean?
When you said, I feel like you hesitated for a minute when you said that you're happy.
No. I am happy, but it was a challenge because it was like 10-week build.
Yeah.
And to really find something that like excites you for 10 weeks in a row is hard, and especially with all the other stuff going on. But I think we managed it very well. Like I said, the last 2 weeks, I think we got it en route where it's supposed to be. And it's always a little bit like what I want myself, like what I would see the best idea or something. Like that doesn't always happen. That's not the nature of how the business works. And then you gotta be mature enough to realize that we do that stuff every week. There's always a better idea for something, and it's not, at the end of the day, it's not about my personal taste often, what I would like. It's about what's best for the product at that point overall. And in that regard, I think we managed it very well. And going into Mania, I think we set the tone very well.
The last couple of weeks have been great. The blood, the stuff with Jimmy, it feels very intense, very personal, which is what you always want. Here you are saying "Welcome to Hell" as you're standing over a bloody Jimmy Uso. It's great stuff. In fact, I think you upset their father. Rikishi is not too happy with you.
Yeah, that could be, but I don't blame him. After
he could get it too, right? Or no?
If he wants to. I think he's done.
But I know a lot of people, including myself, were very surprised when Jey won the Royal Rumble, and obviously we didn't know, which direction he would go, your belt or Cody's belt.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that he won?
Yes, I was actually, because obviously at the end in with Cena, but looking back at it, I mean, Cena's on his last run here now, and that's how you want to use them.
Mm.
Like put them in the ring with somebody that is like on his way up or is like red hot in the moment, and benefit of that. So I was surprised, yeah, and I was surprised, and I didn't think Jay would be my ideal opponent for WrestleMania because we are very different. But then rethinking it, I think it makes a lot of sense because I think in WWE right now, I'm the perfect counterpart to everybody who is on his way up, who's like red hot, wants to achieve a certain something. And I think I'm a good party pooper when it comes to that. So, at the end, I was happy that he won. And he deserved it, I think. And, yeah, I'm glad we started that program now.
Could I ask, who was your ideal opponent?
I didn't really nail that down, to be honest, because we have so many guys that are, like, when it just comes to in-ring, that are, like, super exciting to have a match with. And so I didn't really... As a wrestler yourself, you obviously want to make the next step. So my hopes were like, can I mix it up with somebody like Punk, maybe with Seth, or maybe with Roman? Is there a chance for that? Or even Cena? But yeah, that didn't work out yet. But also I think we're in a situation right now in the company where so many things changed in a very short time, and there's a whole new excitement about the company. And that's a big opportunity for guys that are newer to the place like me, or somebody like Jay that is around forever and now finally has the chance to do something on his own. And that's with a lot of guys I had matches with. It's the perfect breeding ground for us to have all the attention on us and, yeah, leave a mark. Because at the end of the day, I feel like everybody can stand out when in the ring with somebody that is like super established already. There's like a made figure, somebody like Roman. But if we can make a difference, like together, and set a new standard for us, what's to expect from us going forward, and when it comes to a lot of different things, I think that's the perfect opportunity for that, and it's a challenge somewhat too. And it's a high pressure situation, but I feel like that's when I thrive. I think that's where people in general thrive. The high pressure situations are the ones where you sink or swim. And yeah, I'm glad with how everything worked out.
You mentioned Roman, Punk, Seth. They are the main event of night one. Obviously, Cena is main eventing against Cody in night two. Are you disappointed you're not main eventing as world heavyweight champ?
Well, no, I'm not. There's two main event spots. Some people argue there's only one. It's the night two. At the end of the day, those are they're big achievements, but that's nothing I want to I don't want to stress about, because in the long term, later on, when I finished my career and I was able to be financially set up, took care of my family, and I did all of this doing that thing that I always wanted to do. I don't know, if I never main event WrestleMania, that's going to make a difference about how proud or happy I will be about my career. So I think that's a mental challenge for us, the wrestlers, is you want to do all those things naturally. That's the first reaction is you want to achieve this and you want to do that. And it's often important to put things into perspective and ground yourself a little bit. Because if you always look for that, what's next, one more, that's like an endless game. It's where's the end? And I rather try to be very focused on what I'm doing at the moment and put all my effort in there, put my full focus on that, and try to make the best thing possible. And I think that's when really good stuff happens.
Can I say I'm one of those who feels like the main event of Sunday is the main event?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm old school like that.
Well, I don't want to challenge you on that. That's it's not that important to me, to be honest.
You don't care about any of this stuff. We get all caught up on who's main eventing, where they are on the card. You don't pay attention to any of this.
Of course, I see stuff, but I actively try to stop myself from worrying about it.
Because it does no good.
I can't control it anyway. I
Right.
can do my best, and I will do my best anyway. It doesn't matter where I would be on that card. I would give my best, and the weeks leading up front, I would give my best, and doesn't change anything. So it's
Can I ask your perspective on the Cena heel turn?
yeah.
This new John Cena that we're seeing. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if he goes against Cody, who's like the guy right now,
Yeah.
I feel like that had to happen. That was a natural reaction. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's always funny where perception of a person, like how it ends up, because obviously now when Cena came back, like everybody loved him, and even like years before. But when I was younger, I only knew Cena as the guy that the company wanted to be loved by everyone, but nobody did. Everybody booed him, and everybody was kind of like, "Oh, not that guy again."
Yeah.
So in reality, that's the Cena I always remembered. Obviously in wrestling, it's always funny when you go away for a little bit, you come back, everybody's just falls in love with you again.
Yes,
and,
of course.
and
This is life.
a new reality with new memories created.
Right.
But yeah, it was the right thing to do, I think. Again, great opportunity for Cody. Having Cena back is fantastic. Like one of the, like that's also people argue about that who's the greatest star. He's
Sure.
one of them.
Yes.
Who makes a decision that is like, hey, I want to do this for another year. And I think it's a lot of class about the way he wants to go out. Where it's not like one more. It's like a definitive period of time. He's still in fantastic shape. He's still, top guy right away. I think it's a very good way to go out, to have that much control about it. So glad he's here.
One thing I'm curious about, early in his career, he was a heel type character, but when you wrestle as a heel, especially like someone who's mad like him, your style changes too, right? So I'm curious to see how this version of him, wearing the stuff that he wears and being the guy that he is, wrestles as a heel, because it won't be the same. You can't be the same. It can't be the same as the one that we saw 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Everything has to change. You have to do different things.
Yeah.
Your demeanor has to be different. Your tactics have to be different.
That will be interesting, right? It's like
Yeah.
obviously there's a different rhythm to being a babyface or a heel, and we'll see how he manages that. But at the end, also, I think it's the typical babyface heel thing is kind of like something that's important at the early stages when you work your way up, and as soon as you have a certain attention on you, then you're just you. Like I don't think you will have to change too much, to be honest.
Okay.
But I'm very interesting to see how he handles it, like how his take on that is. So looking forward to it.
Are you the kind of person that pays attention to what everyone else is doing? In other words, because this is the culmination of the year, you look at this feud, that rivalry, and say, I like this, I don't like this, I'm locked into this, this is the best one in my opinion, this is the hottest? Or are you so focused on what you're doing, you don't pay attention to, you don't watch the show, you don't do anything?
No, honest answer, I maybe I'm a bad example then, but I hardly watch anything else.
This is why I asked the question, because I had a feeling you were
Yeah.
gonna say that.
But
Why is that?
But it's not like because I'm not interested. It's kind of like
You're locked in.
Yeah, it's like so when I'm at TV, I watch what I can see of the show.
Sure.
So I kind of like always see it live, but I also miss stuff. But then it's again we're at the point where it's like it doesn't matter what the other people do. It's like it doesn't change what I do. It's like it's kind of like I almost don't want to know because I don't want to be like, oh, they did this, so I have to step up to this. It's like, no, it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's beneficial.
Okay.
But there's also like times, and it fluctuates, where there's times I watch more wrestling again, and pretty much depends on how much goes on in my private life, to be honest. We've been very busy recently the last months. We set up a few new homes and stuff like that. It was very stressful, so there was little time.
Investments and things like that.
Pardon?
You mean like investments or?
No, we got 2 new places to live in.
Wow.
We had to set them up, one in Europe, one
This is
here
a
and
lot.
stuff.
This is a lot.
So, and with the baby, it was a big challenge.
Yes.
So there was little energy.
You don't have
Like,
time to
switch
sit
off.
down for 9 straight hours to watch everything else going on.
No.
I understand.
Not really.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like your timing is fortuitous, though, because I do wonder if this version of you I don't know, 5, 6 years ago in a different regime would be as successful as you have been. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like you coming to WWE? You're a little bit older, right? You're not your typical. You've been, I think, there for 3 years on the main roster, something to that effect. But you are 37, correct? You are the perfect guy for the Triple H era, if you will. And I don't know if in the tail end of the Vince McMahon era you could have had the same success that you are having. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that actually. I was under Vince for 4 months or something.
A brief period, yeah.
And yeah, it was strange work experience.
Can I ask why?
I would say it was kind of like the direction was very confusing. It's like it was hard to figure out what was expected of me, which usually is never an issue with that. I was always, but at the end of the day, everything came around for me. It was lucky often in my career in terms of timing. I was at the right place at the right time very often. But yeah, overall, I'm 100% a Hunter guy. Like that's been my whole career in WWE. Was like my directions came from Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that given those 4 months, do you think that maybe you wouldn't still be here? Like, were you very unhappy at the time?
I was kind of like I'm a person. I struggle to just go along with things if I can't logically get them. There's no like objective reason for things, then I struggle to just, I don't know, I give up quickly where I go like, okay, I don't want to bother with this then. But yeah, overall, I don't think it gotten that far yet. It was just a little bit of a confusing time, I would say. I think I had 2 conversations with Vince or something very briefly. So it was
in 4 months?
Yeah, it was very hard to get to anything really. So it was just a strange work experience. I think also like might be a background thing culturally because NXT's run a little bit different. You get a lot of instruction because it's developmental, obviously. And all the jobs I had before, like the regular jobs, like I worked in Germany most of the time. That's as straightforward as it gets. You get told what to do all the time, and if it's not done to the highest grade, then you get told right away too. So it's very different in work culture over here than back home. That had something to do with that as well, maybe.
So how would you describe working for Paul? How would you describe working for, him as the leader, his vision, the way he does things differently than the previous regime?
Well, I would say to a degree, and obviously he's my boss, and I'm in a very good position at the company right now, but I think to a certain degree that, he saved professional wrestling to a big degree, I think.
Wow.
Because, when I remember when I started, 2005, I started, and all the Europeans that kind of like tried to get into WWE, it was such a mystery about it, like who to talk to and what to do. It seemed so far away, such an unrealistic point to achieve. And Hannah was the one that pushed for opening that world to WWE and created so many jobs and opportunities back then for so many of the guys, like for us, for all the European guys. But then in general, it's just, he opened the floodgates for the wrestling world outside of WWE, and I think that's since then the change has been very positive. And I think that was a big achievement, to be honest, because the business changed since then, and it changed to the better. I think it's the hardest that it is right now. And that all started back then when he started NXT and started working more with guys that worked on the indies before and stuff like that. And I always had a really good relationship with Hannah. When WWE got in touch with me first, I wanted to go to New Japan. It was my thing. Like, I always wanted to be a wrestler in Japan, but they didn't really move or say anything. And then WWE got in touch with me, and I kind of like waited it out a little bit because it's always me. I don't know, when there's like there's an opportunity and everybody jumps at it at the same time. I get a little bit, I don't know. It gives me a weird feeling. I was like, man, maybe I just sit this out first and see how it goes. And it worked out at the end. But Hunter was always the guy that said, hey man, I see a big future here for you, and if you want to do it, then I'm on board. Just let us know, more or less.
Was he the first person to reach out?
No, Mr. Regal called me first.
Wow. Can you tell me about that? Like, do you remember where you were?
I I don't even know. I must have been at home.
Did you know him? Did you have any relationship with Mr. William Regal?
I met him at a PWG before.
Okay.
He would always come to PWG, and I think for Battle of Los Angeles, like
California, yeah.
a tournament once a year.
And does he call you on the phone?
Yeah.
And he says, we're interested.
Yeah, he just said, "Man, come over. You can make money here." Like,
Okay.
and I was still kind of like stubborn. It's like, no, I don't want to.
You said no initially.
Yeah, like I said no 2 times to them.
Why?
Because I never saw myself there. It's like
You didn't want to be a comedy act or...
yeah, I always thought like, hey, what I got to offer is me, and that's all I got. And I'm happy to work on myself, and I'm happy to improve on myself. But at the core, it's always going to be me. And I was never interested in, I don't know, portraying somebody else's fantasy.
Sure.
And then just be a wrestler on the side, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
I always wanted to do what I think is right for me to do. And yeah, with NXT and everything, they gave me the opportunity to do that and stay based in Europe for a little bit and have a smooth transition because I was running the wrestling school in Germany before and stuff. And yeah, it was a smooth transition to that.
That blows my mind. This is the top of your profession, and they come knocking on your door a couple times, and you say thanks, but no thanks. I'm happy here. I don't want to change. I don't want to be who you maybe think, or I think you want me to be.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would say that.
I guess there were some other guys who did that too, but yeah, I don't know. I never had an issue with that, saying no at first and then see what happens. It's like.
So why did you eventually say yes?
I mean, I ran my course in NXT UK. Like I held that title for.
But this is before you, because when you're in NXT UK, you were already in, right?
Yeah, I was already in.
So, but like initially.
That was the move to America.
Yeah.
I mean, signing with I mean, at the end, it comes down to like finances too at some point.
Yeah.
And it's like also, it's like you gotta, as an athlete, you always wanna like step up to the next challenge to some degree. And I did everything I could for that for the company in Germany I worked for. I did everything I could on the indies. That's usually a very small window there. And there was not really, like I said, New Japan didn't really move, and there was nothing else that was really. I had an offer from Ring of Honor back then too, so it was all kind of like at the same time. And at the end, it was okay. I mean, you're a certain age, you gotta think about your future. It's like where can you make the most money? And
Right.
I had a lot of trust in Hunter and Hunter's vision.
At some point, did he get involved and say, "I believe in you. I want you"?
No, I only spoke to him the first day I was there. I spoke to him. Like he was one of the first people I talked to, but I didn't talk to him before.
Why didn't New Japan ever move?
I don't know. It's like
Did that bother you? Because I've heard you say way back in the day, you, Stan Hansen, you wanted to take on all the good guys. Like that was the dream, right?
Yeah.
That was the ultimate for you.
Yeah.
You fit the mold. Like you seem like the perfect guy that the Japanese crowd would take to, right? Like you're a big monster. Nothing? No conversations?
No, not really.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, it wasn't. I guess also like in general, like the Japanese style of business, like they move way slower.
Okay.
Than in the Western world, especially in the States. That's
Yeah.
like, I want this, I want it now. They move a bit slower, so I guess it would have happened sooner or later, but I was just at a point where I was like, okay, I'm kind of like maxed out what I could do before, and also financially maxed out what I could do there. And then it was just like, okay, I gotta make a move now. And yeah, with like NXT, I had a really good feeling that it's a different environment. It's not, I can be there and exist there and keep growing there without necessarily having to make the step and go on the main roster. So yeah, I went there.
NXT UK was a very special thing. In fact, towards the very end, I was working for BT Sport, who would air NXT UK. I think actually your wife was doing some stuff for them as well, like some like presenting stuff, and it just seemed like a very tight knit and like a wrestling fans like ultimate promotion, right?
Yeah.
And I think when they got rid of it, there was some talk of doing like an NXT Europe, but it never came to fruition.
Yeah.
Would you like to see something like that back, or do you think it's not necessary anymore?
So I think NXT UK was great for the time. But at some point, it ran its course too, I think.
Okay.
And I'm not necessarily sure if there's a big benefit from that because it's very different. There's not like a real athlete pool over in the in Europe how it is in the States. Like everybody wants to be a football player,
Yeah.
and they make such good money that it's hard to compete with that for like a developmental deal to, if you can play third or fourth league football in any of the bigger countries, you still make very good money. And also, like, I think American football player and amateur wrestler, all those like gymnastics, all of those sports that are like really supported in the States, they have way better fundamentals for professional wrestling than football player would be, for example. So I'm not sure. So if there's like really talented guys in Europe, which there always are, I guess they can just go to the PC in the States. I don't know, but I think it's interesting to have it. It's kind of like a territory to give the wrestlers that just start out in NXT, to give them a different experience, to get in front of a different crowd and learn a different style. I think that would be the most interesting part about having it, I think. Instead of just like finding people there and then making them into wrestlers, Europe has like a really good core group of wrestlers all the time. There's always wrestling going on and they know how to work, and I think it would be a good experience to send people there to get in the ring with them.
Your appearance recently on LFG was phenomenal, and it was perfect because it represented you and I think what people think you're about, but also some of the criticisms that some people may have about the state of the industry, in that the days of a Walter kind of being this like indie god and then finally graduating don't really happen as much. Now it's someone coming over from gymnastics or pro football in America, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm wondering how much of that was from the heart, what you were saying to those people about,
I feel like it's like often with the things I say, I mean it to a degree. It's like an objective analysis I do.
It was fantastic.
But I just put a little bit more spice on it.
Okay.
I think so. I think, first of all, like, that's a big difference often between the athletes and all the people from the indies. I mean, back then, it's like, on the indies, almost nobody's like in shape. It's like everybody learns how to wrestle, but oftentimes that's maybe their only like real activity they do.
Sure. It's a side gig, yeah.
Because people are more young, financially you struggle and stuff like that. It's a less focused environment. You just do wrestling on the side and then try to survive somehow. But with those athletes coming in, they're like athletically, they're absolutely crazy. Like every time I go to the PC now, I walk around, it's like it's all machines in here. It's crazy. So they're able to learn it a little bit quicker, I would say, than a regular guy from the street that walks into a wrestling school and stuff like that. I think the biggest difference is in the passion of it, because at the end of it, it's a second career for most of them. And I guess some of them had always had that dream of, I want to do this one day, but I doubt everybody has that. And pro wrestling is so, it's a weird business because it's elements of everything in there. And on the one hand, you're an athlete. On the other hand, you are an entertainer, and your positioning in entertainment goes up, down. It goes very quickly. That's something you have to mentally be prepared for and be willing to go through longer periods of times where you're really not happy with it and really not enjoying it a lot, but you still got to keep doing it. You just got to stay in there and stick to it. And I think going through those times, that's where the test of passion happens. And that's where you got to ask yourself, like, why am I still doing this? Because I always wanted to. Like, what else would I do? That's what I want to do. And if it's just an alley for you that's like, oh, maybe I try this. If it works out, then you can just go like, oh, okay, maybe, you know what? I tried it. Let's leave it again. I try something else now. You know what I mean? And our business needs people that commit to it their whole life, I think.
Does it bother you when people try to just kind of skip some steps?
No, it doesn't bother me. Really not. That's more like just my thought of it when I look at it. How does it work, or how, like, I make my opinion about it. But I'm not really, I don't know. There's guys that wrestle half my time and are successful. So,
right.
But I don't know. Not really towards anyone, I gotta be honest. I have like, I have no problem if people do better than me, if that makes sense. It's like I said,
it's impressive.
I try to focus on myself.
Part of the reason why I asked that is not too long ago we had Baron Corbin on
Yeah.
Ron Pestock, and he had some I guess some choice words to say about Logan Paul, about the way he conducts himself backstage and the route that he took and whatnot. I mean, you're one of the top guys, and again, I say it one more time, throwback in that you respect the business and the locker room and whatnot. I don't know if you heard any of those comments, but just that general summary of his sentiment towards Logan. You share that?
I mean, no, I had no bad experience with Logan. I think he's a great addition for us. Crazy athlete, and he picked it up really quick. And I don't know. I don't think his aspirations are to be the best wrestler in the world, and that he doesn't need to. He's very successful on his own, but he has a passion for it, the obvious one, and he committed to being with us, and it's a great addition. And I don't know. Well, I say this at least. I get there's some sentiment towards the outsiders, but if you get offered that private jet and private locker room, none of you would turn it down. Come on, guys. Let's be honest. Yeah.
But that's interesting because I actually just saw a clip this morning of Perry Saturn. You know Perry Saturn, the old school wrestler, talking about Bret Hart's first day or two in WCW, and he got there and there was a room with his name on it. And he was with Perry Saturn at the time, and he said, like, what is this? He said, this is your private locker room. Hogan has one. This guy has one. And he says, I don't do that. I change, in the locker room with all the boys. Yeah. And Perry said, that just speaks to how great Bret was, and he was one of us.
Yeah.
And so there are some people, it seems like, the great Bret Hart, I admire him greatly, who don't feel this way, right? Who feel like everyone needs to be together.
Yeah.
Do you share that?
No.
No.
I don't know. I just made the step.
Wow, you're a diva. I didn't know this.
I just made the step now recently where
you got your own.
I enjoy some favors where, and I got my tour bus now, and
you got the tour bus too.
They started giving me a locker room too and stuff, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I have to honestly say.
How do you get the tour bus, by the way? It seems like a nice, everyone, Punk gets one, Cody, we hear about the tour bus, and it's like you've graduated now to super, super duper stardom.
No, I signed a new contract, and that was part of.
Did you throw that in there? Or do they throw it in there?
No, I asked for that. What you don't ask for, you don't get.
Yes.
But but that's also at the end of the day, that whole feeling like we're the boys and stuff like that. I totally get that. Like when I started out and in Germany in WXW, we started to be like, okay, we got to run more shows now. We want to professionalize. We got to stick together. All of us only made I don't know, if you were one of the top guys, you made maybe €100 per event or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it wasn't really big business for anyone. So you stick more together. You do it for the sake of it. We all love it, and we all do it together and give everybody a great show. But at a certain level, and I guess that's with everything, it's just it turns into a career, into a profession, and that's how you have to approach it as well. It's two different things, I think. It's especially at that level now. It's like we talk about all of that, WrestleMania and the big Netflix deal. There's a lot of stuff that's at stake, and it's a big responsibility. And every time you walk out, you get the trust from the company to go out on live TV or do something. There's a big responsibility to it, and we gotta hold each other accountable for that. And I don't think there's no room for, I don't know, just I like the guy, so I accept that.
Sure.
He's lazy on something, for example.
Right.
Never really encountered it in WWE, but stuff like that where it becomes, it's kind of like a boys' club, and it's like it has a negative effect on the performance. So I always try to have my distance to that, if that makes sense. For me, that always worked. I try to treat it as purely business for me. Doesn't matter how much passion I have for it. It doesn't matter how much I love it. But I'm in the spotlight now. It's not other people pay to enjoy it, and it's my role to provide the service so they can enjoy it. So, and that's how I always treated it, and it worked out for me.
When did you sign your new deal?
Last year, end of last year.
Okay. Were you considering options, or did you?
No. I'm set where I am. Nothing else is really, no. How could I? I think I saw that statistic recently. Since I signed in 2019, I've been champion 85 or 90% of the time, or something like that. So obviously they always saw me in a certain way and give me the trust, and That's when I enjoy that. Like even on the smaller scale and regular jobs before, when I could step up and take on responsibility and get the trust or earn the trust of someone, and I can fulfill that and I can like make it worth. Those are moments that like make me proud and that drive me. That makes sense.
Do you want to be one of these guys that wrestles into your 50s and whatnot?
Depends how
the body is feeling.
Yeah, and how I look like with 50 years old.
You look great now.
Thank you. I guess, yeah, we'll see. It's like there's nothing set in stone.
You've not put a date or an age. I'm going to go till 45 or...
No, not really. I don't think... The business is changing so much too. Like our schedule got so much better, and also WWE is in such a great spot now. We have so many guys that are over, as they say, that are just super popular. But while before it was more structured, there's like one or maybe two top guys, and everything is catered towards them. Now we have we have so many guys that are like, oh, he's a top guy, he's a top guy, he's a top guy. And I think that's my vision, at least for the business, like going forward, that it's going to be, I don't know, if I want to see Gunther, there's like 3-4 big matches a year, and that's it. Almost like a little bit more similar how UFC is structured. Makes sense. Obviously, we have weekly TV. It's a little bit of a different scenario, but I think that's going to be a natural progression if things keep going like that. Because the longer people can go, and everybody's smarter now too. It's like, look at some of the guys, like Punk just came back and he's in his 40s, but he fit right in. But like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, somebody in mid-40s would have already been seen like, oh, he's on his way out. You know what I mean? All the top guys are like in the older age now, and I think as a professional wrestler, the more mature you become, the better your performances become. Like the maturity for me is always like a big part of the art form of professional wrestling, like the balance of what to do, when to do, and stuff like that. And I would even say with maturity, your promos become better because you just know more than compared to when you're 25. Schedule is better. So I think that's going to be a progression going forward, a natural one.
Speaking of UFC, just earlier today, the great Tom Aspinall, who's the interim champion of the heavyweight division of the UFC, texted me saying, "This is a big deal. You got Gunther in studio. He met you recently.
Yeah.
He said you were an absolute gentleman to him, that you just made him feel very welcome and comfortable." So,
I like to hear that. He was a very nice guy.
He's one of the nicest guys.
Very down to earth, he seems.
Big boy.
Oh, he's big.
Yeah.
Like I didn't only saw a picture before. I knew he was a heavyweight, but when he stood there, I was like, oh my God, like
Did you know who he was? Do you watch UFC?
I watched it more. Like now, I don't really watch anything. It's hard to follow up with anything. Some topics. Like I hope that fight happens over like Aspinall, John Jones.
Okay, so you're aware of this.
I'm aware of this.
Okay.
That's like the big topic right now.
Yes.
I really hope that happens. But yeah, really nice guy. We did that one little, that one little segment in the which event was it? I think it was in Manchester.
Yeah.
At a live show.
You guys were in Europe for a while.
Really cool. Yeah, we were.
Did you go back and forth, or did you stay there the whole time?
No. I stayed there. We have a place in England now.
Okay, all right.
And we just spent the time there during the week.
Did you go to Vienna as well?
Yeah, I went to Vienna as well.
Was there an event there? You just
Yeah.
Okay.
The show there.
How do you? So in front of that crowd, they're not booing you. They adore you. So what do you do? How do you conduct yourself in front of them?
First of all, Vienna, I have to give a shout out. Like I think we doubled the attendance.
Amazing.
We were there the last time in May. We came back like less than a year later and like doubled, which is like Vienna always had like a rich history in professional wrestling because of Otto Wanz and stuff like that. So that was cool for me to see that come back. And over there, it's like I walked out with my Austrian football jersey.
Amazing.
Having a good time.
So you're full babyface there.
Yeah, more or less. I'm still me, but more a likable version. And it's a big deal in Austria, I think, because there's not many guys that really break out and make it internationally. It's a big deal in Austria. If one of us makes it, the support you get from the people there, it's like there's a certain pride about that if a person really breaks out, makes it out of Austria, and especially if it's in the States. That's like, because for us, that's like with Arnold, that's like
of course,
the first example you think of.
Did you get like recognized? Does everyone come up to you on the street? Is it hard for you to be there?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
It's like it's not hard to be there, but you get spoken to.
It's a homecoming though. It must feel good.
It is. It's very good. Yes, 100%.
Is there a big difference between the European crowds and the American crowds? Not specifically Vienna, but like you guys were there, like you said. Are they different? You know, I always hear about the Japanese crowd, especially in MMA. The Japanese crowd is completely different than the American crowd. Are European crowds the same, or is it all kind of the same? Or is it, are they different? Are there any?
No, they are different. I think.
In what respect?
It's because American and European sports culture is different. So, and also all of the games over here, like NHL, NFL, or something, the style of support, like the chants and stuff like that, there's different rhythms to it and stuff compared to Europe.
Okay.
So the European fans are more influenced by like football chants from the football stadium and stuff like that. And I would say they react a little bit more fiery. It's a little bit more. I feel like in the States sometimes it's a little bit people come in and they join in like, hey, ho, whatever goes on, but there's no personal involvement. And in Europe, I feel like there's like that little bit more spice and fire into it.
I agree.
In the reactions. And just for the moment, they go like, they feel a little bit more offended or they're a little bit more happy when something happens. That would be the biggest difference, I would say.
The Belgium crowd was great.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah,
the
really
the Lyon crowd last May.
Yeah.
For the PLE.
Yeah, all the places we went.
Scotland.
It's been fantastic.
I feel like they kill the American crowds, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's also like, that's also another thing, again, where having those PLEs and those TVs in Europe, it's such a big deal. It's like we were, before the fans were happy, there are a few live events and stuff. I still remember when I was growing up and watched WWE and stuff like that. When can we watch a show? And there's maybe one show nearby in Germany, 1.5 years apart or something like that. Everything seemed so far away, and now we had, even in Germany, we had a PLE, and we had a PLE in many countries and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a big deal. So people come with a lot of excitement. And I guess over here, it's just, it's part of the sports culture. They always had it. So they're
a little spoiled, maybe.
Maybe. But it comes to that.
It does feel special. It feels. I love that they did it. I was worried about you guys though. I was like, man, are these guys staying over there for 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I had a few of the American colleagues. I remember we were sitting in the locker room, and we always have a screen there with like where we watch the show live, and they announced the tour.
You're like, oh god.
And it was like Kaiser and me. We were like, hell yeah, let's go, let's go home. And all the American boys, like their faces was like, oh my god.
Yes.
It's a lot of travel.
It almost felt like its own little like thread within the WrestleMania season. Like these events were kind of, I don't know, there was a connective tissue because it was like one European city after the next. It was something, it was very unique.
Yeah.
This hasn't really happened before, like you said, not for the TVs.
Yeah.
I was trying to find like the earliest footage I could find of you from way back in the day to see, what your memories were. We found 2006, an event where you were known as, I think, Big Daddy Walter.
Yeah, it could be.
Do you recognize this event here? Let's take a look at this.
Oh, let's see.
We got this here for you. This is Rings of Europe.
Oh, I remember that, of course.
One of your earliest events.
Yes. So first thing I remember, if it's that one, hell yeah.
Here you come.
Here I come. The promoter wanted to give me some weird Austrian song as an entrance, but I changed it to Metallica. He was very annoyed about it. I needed something.
Look how like happy you are. You're completely different.
Yeah, I was a babyface at first, like my coach told me. It must have been one of my first
high-fiving everyone.
10 matches or something like that.
Is this really one of your first 10?
Yeah. Look at that Puma shirt.
Look at that. And you're wrestling a guy with a Cartman shirt, who I think you wrestled a bunch with this guy.
Him, yeah.
Do you recognize him?
Yeah, of course I do.
What's his name?
Siggy the Swiss Tank is his name. one of the coaches of Cesaro.
Is that true?
Yes.
Wow. Look at you.
I think like early on.
Yeah. How many people are in attendance here? Maybe like 50? Maybe a little bit more.
Maybe a little bit more, yeah.
So what do you like when you watch this? Do you remember being in there? What it's like being in a gymnasium, basketball hoop up there? Like this is a far cry from Allegiant Stadium.
Oh yeah, of course I remember that. But I feel like what I remember most about those times is like the excitement going into it. Like that felt like WrestleMania. Trust me. Of course, that felt like
you were nervous.
Yeah, of course. It was like that's the big one right now. So your big chance here.
What's the psychology here? You're a total good guy here, right?
Yeah.
What about this outfit?
What's a singlet, right?
Yeah. Who are you? Like, what is your persona right now? Just total
There's
white
no
meat
persona.
baby
It's
face. You're just a guy.
It's just me. It's just a guy.
and it was Big Van, sort of like in honor of.
That was Big Van Volta. Yeah.
Yeah, but in honor of Vader, but not really in honor of Vader. He just called you that, right?
The promoter gave me
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You didn't like it.
That's fine. Whatever.
You weren't a Vader guy.
That big of a deal. I liked Vader.
You're more of a Goldberg guy, right? No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at this. Isn't this
There
great?
you go. Shoots me across with ease. Boom.
Are you critical of yourself? Is it hard to watch yourself?
Nah, I think it's funny to watch now.
You enjoy it?
Yeah. Sometimes Kaiser and I, when we have a time, we just put on old stuff and laugh
really?
about it. Yeah.
When did you first meet him?
In Germany, in Hamburg. Which year was it? 2008 or 9 or something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
You've been the best of friends ever since.
Yeah, I mean, it developed over time, obviously, because I used to live in North Germany during that time, and he lived a little bit more north in Germany. So a lot of the shows we would just go together because it would always be on the way, either or. And then we worked for the same places all the time. And yeah, that's how the friendship grew over time.
Look at that finish right there. Oh, it's about to come. You're about to splash him.
I remember that I wanted to do something else, but he refused everything else I wanted to do.
He refused? He was stiff?
I remember that. He was like, nah.
Not today, sir. Is he older than you?
Yeah.
So you're like super young and green.
Yeah, I'm like 18 there or something.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. Look at that, body slam.
Here, I think you look at the referee, say, get out of the way, right?
Maybe it's only, where else should I go?
That is the finish right there. Was that your move? The splash?
One of them.
Yeah.
My coach was always like, you're a big guy. You need to do big guy stuff.
Yeah.
Do a splash. Do an elbow drop.
At your biggest, how much did you weigh?
Oh, I was really fat at some point. Maybe, what is it in pounds? Like 150 kg. That's like 330 or something.
Wow.
340 maybe.
And now?
Around 250 now.
Is your diet really strict?
At the moment, no.
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 So it's not like you're one of those body types that just... Some body types just want to be bigger. Like you're just built that way.
Yeah. I mean...
You don't have to be super...
You have to be realistic about it too, because we gotta maintain it throughout the year, right? So the last WrestleManias, I tried to like really diet hard, and I look good and stuff, and I had a little bit of abs and everything was lean, and.
But you're miserable.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is like then the energy is really low, the stamina was affected and stuff like that, and it's just not sustainable. It's like I think the public sometimes has a wrong idea of what a natural achievable body is.
Yeah.
Especially when there's like no off season or something like that, when you have to stay on it the whole year round. And where I'm at right now is like that's where I feel comfortable. I have a lot of energy. Performance wise, it's fantastic. So
Ludwig's been amazing as well. His evolution has been great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he like sort of unintentionally got involved in a storyline recently, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It's hard. I don't know if that was part of the plan or not. But he
really did.
He's been amazing, and I think your entrance is one of the best in the business. The two of you, Imperium, like just like that with the lights and the music. I'm assuming you're a fan of it as well. Like it just there's something about it that I don't know. It's not just there. Some of them kind of blend together. When that music hits, you know who's coming out.
Yes. Especially loved the thing we did with the coat where he would pull it.
Ah, yeah.
That looked
The
nice.
little things,
but
yes.
he's above that now. That's
What is it? The Mat is sacred?
Yes.
From his father, right?
Yes.
How do you say it in Germany?
Die Matte ist heilig.
Yes, he came up with that.
Yes. So it was kind of like his dad was a wrestler already. Axel Dieter was his name, and he did all the tournaments back then in Europe. And they're very different business back then, because it was literally sold as like freestyle wrestling. So it was only tournament based, not really gimmicks. It obviously changed over the time more and more. So they were like super protective, like kayfabe and stuff. It's like there's no gap, no question. And so he was like till the end, he was very passionate about it, and he was very, how should I say, like conservative about everything. But back then, when we started that whole gimmick, like before it was called Ringkampf and stuff, it was a time.
Oh, Ringkampf.
Yes.
Like Mein Kampf.
No.
I was like, what? What does Kampf mean?
Fight, struggle.
Struggle.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I think
and
of.
ring is ring.
Wait, that was the name of the promotion?
No, that was the name of. That's the name how they marketed professional wrestling in German countries back then.
That's how they called wrestling.
Yeah, Ringkampf.
Wow.
Yeah.
Till this day.
No, not to this day. Now it's wrestling. Everything is Americanized now.
I never knew that.
Then, but that was always like when his father would speak about it, he would never say wrestling. He would always say ringkampf.
Ah.
And we kind of liked it back then because it was a time where everybody tried to do more, try to stand out more, try to be flashy, and we were kind of like, okay, now is the time to do the opposite and eliminate everything fancy and just be to the point, focus on the fundamentals, and try that route to stand out. And
Do you watch like Frank Gotch and all these guys from back in the Hackenschmidt? You ever watch that, or is it completely different?
No, of course I watched it, but it's a hard watch, to be honest. Because it's
dry.
It's very different. It's like 30 minutes long often, and the quality of the video is not good. And it was not made for it's a different perception of the business back then. It was like treated as like, okay, it's like two sportsmen. The show aspect wasn't that important, or the big storytelling elements or something like that. So obviously it's a hard watch, but it's kind of like you have to get yourself through that a little bit because if you do this, you want to understand where stuff comes from and how things developed and stuff like that to fully understand them. I think now people just see certain things that are done and just copy it without questioning what's the reason for it and stuff like that. Now since Japanese wrestling got more popular, everybody's firing up all the time.
Sure.
Or elbowing back and forth, but there's a way to get there. You just don't do that.
Right. Spot fest, as they say.
Yes.
Something like that. Who is your favorite of all time? Because you did tell Brett in Calgary, I think, that Goldberg was your favorite. I think you were maybe sticking it to him. I don't know. We're big Brett guys around here.
Yeah.
He's right over there. That's my guy. I have him there as inspiration.
Oh.
He was on the show last week. I almost cried. He was my favorite guy as a kid. Who was yours, or who is yours? Who's the greatest of all time?
I don't know. I don't have a sort of specific one. There's a lot of greats. So
there's not your number one at the top?
Yeah. No, there's that I like the most. I don't know. I like many guys. There's especially wrestling is so, I don't know, so subjective that it's a taste thing as well. How do you test that?
Like a name or two. I just want to know where you're at.
Where I'm at. So one of my all-time favorites is Kenta Kobashi.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You heard of him?
Yeah, of course.
Fantastic. Stan Hansen. I always liked him a lot.
The Lariat.
Yes. I liked JBL a lot back then.
Also the Lariat.
Obviously, I liked Kurt Angle.
Okay.
I liked him a lot.
They're going to say Henning.
Oh,
I love him as well.
Fantastic.
It's a perfect,
yes. But like I said, you can name the who is who, and I like them all.
Okay.
So
you like the big, strong brute guys, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that I prefer that.
You prefer that style,
yes.
Not the flipping around and all that.
I mean, of course, that's exciting as well, but it's just, I guess I mostly watched wrestling when I was younger. Obviously, as a kid, it's different, but I started with 18, and ever since then, when I watched stuff where it's like, okay, what can I pick up from that?
Yeah.
For me, watching guys that are half my size doing all of that it's cool, it's exciting, it's really entertaining, but it doesn't help me much because I can't backflip.
Is there one guy on the roster that you haven't wrestled yet that you would really like to?
Oh, there's still plenty of guys I haven't wrestled yet where it's I think there's an exciting match in it. I would say Punk right now, obviously. He's on Raw. Seth.
You've never wrestled Seth, even
live events, or I think we did a 6-man tag twice or something on TV, but not like a proper program and built to a big match. There's a lot of guys that I haven't really mixed it up with. I thought Kevin Owens could have been a really good one time. We had one match on Raw that was really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. I think there would be a good program going forward. There's still plenty. It's such a big roster. There's. But on the other hand, it's I don't know. I never envisioned Miz as one of my favorite opponents. But that program I did with him for the IC title is one of my favorite ones.
Wow.
Because it just, I like it. And it's similar with the stuff with Jay now. It's complete opposites.
Yeah.
And it challenges me to find a different route to make it work from my side. And I always hope I can, challenge the other person to, take that extra step than they usually need to try something new. So it's often on paper what you think is I'm going to enjoy that. sometimes it doesn't turn out like that. And there's stuff where you go into and be like, okay, let's see how that goes. It's fantastic. So, but also, that's the other thing now where it's like, from my wrestler's heart, there are a lot of guys where I say, oh, we could do a cool match, but now it's like you always got to think, okay, what will do good business? Like, what makes sense in that aspect? And so that changes a little bit.
By the way, I don't know if you know this, but the guys just told me Jay is a minus 600 favorite going into your match.
Oh, really?
The disrespect.
Well,
this is crazy. You know what this means, right?
Sentiment is against me.
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly it.
That's
minus
right.
600 to one of the most dominant forces in the game. That's crazy.
Right?
I would slam you.
Oh, it's all right. I think everything right now is unpredictable anyway.
He's the underdog. He's the babyface. People like to get behind that. But minus 600 is crazy for the challenger going into a heavyweight. That's got to be one of the biggest odds for a challenger.
So I don't know. Like I don't know those.
I don't know them either. But
no, I don't know. I don't know the odds and like what is minus 600 a lot or
minus 600 is huge in his favor.
Okay.
That means that everyone thinks that he's going.
But 600 is a high number for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Usually it should be like. Like even Cena's like minus 200.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like shows that we've done the job right because people seem to
believe.
Yeah, they really want to see him win. We'll see if that happens, right? That's the magic thing about it.
Yes.
Nobody knows but us.
You know which day you're on?
I know, but
okay, maybe
if they haven't announced it.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know if I missed it or.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay, I didn't miss it. All right. Well, this has been a great pleasure. It really has. I really appreciate you coming in. I was really looking forward to this, and I know there's a lot going on. You're probably very tired. You want to be at home, so thank you for making the trek, and congratulations on all your success.
Yeah,
you're one of my favorites to watch, and you're. It's fun to be a fan of yours. You know what I mean? It's fun to watch you. It's fun to tell people like this is what wrestling is. This is what it's all about because of the way you conduct yourself. And one of the things that I hate the most, I'm not trying to like, as the kids say, glaze you here, but I don't like when people play pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing for me. As someone who's older now and tries to suspend disbelief, you can tell when someone's playing pro wrestling and when someone lives and breathes it. And that's what you do. So kudos to you.
Oh, I appreciate it a lot. Thanks a lot. That's what I try to be. Yes. That's what I try to do. And yeah, thanks for having me. It was good fun having a little chat about everything. And
yes.
One day again, maybe.
We shall do it again. Yes, maybe. You say maybe. It sounds like you didn't have so much fun.
No, it was great. I just never know what's going to happen.
Of course. We never know.
Take nothing for granted.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We'll take a quick break. Brandon Moreno is going to join us in a matter of moments. Here's my conversation with Alex Volkanovski recently. He headlines UFC 314. Do not go anywhere. I wonder if our next guest has ever had shark. Let's ask him. He's probably the most prolific chef in the history of the UFC. If you haven't seen his YouTube channel, his Instagram, Cooking with Volk, I mean, he can leave the fighting behind, although he does have some fighting left. But we all know he is a master when it comes to these things. He is the great Alexander Volkanovski, kind enough to join us, as always. Hello, sir. How are you? We were just talking about, we just had Joseph Parker on, the great Joseph Parker. He was telling us about eating shark. Do you eat shark?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think a lot of like when you get fish and chip shops, I think a lot of the actual fish that you're eating, like the battered fish, crumb fish, there usually is the shark, I think. I could be wrong, but I've definitely had shark before, yes.
Okay, wow. I've never had that. I've never had shark fish and chips or shark and chips. But you learned something new. I haven't seen it on the channel. The channel's been fantastic. The content has been incredible. I mean, you're smashing it with this stuff. The whole Instagram page to itself is like, you wouldn't even know you were a fighter, Alex. It's like, it's so far away from that, but it's perfect. Well done.
Yeah, cheers. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're doing a great job with it. We're fun. We enjoy it. You're not wrong. You get people commenting, I just found out now that he's a fighter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got people that are like, fans of the cooking, and then they find out I'm a fighter. So it's it's pretty funny. But that's cool, having its own identity and to be doing so well is pretty cool.
That's the dream. All right. Well, obviously you've got a big assignment on the 12th of April in Miami, and so we found out about this about a week ago now. And so, can I ask your timeline? When did you find out that it would be? Because we all presumed you'd be fighting for the belt next. We've kind of known this for quite some time, but we all presumed it would be Ilya. When did you find out that it wasn't going to be Ilya and that it was going to be Diego for the vacant title?
Yeah. So that's what was I knew I was fighting for the title for a while. So it's been a while knowing that my next fight was for the title. I didn't have originally thought it was going to be Ilya. Then I wasn't sure. So then there was questions for a while because I know he did really want to move up. So I did hear he wanted to, but they still weren't sure of that actually happening. And then so I was thinking it must be either interim or fighting for the belt against Ilya. So it was like that for a while. And then in Sydney is actually where we found out. So that's they must have had a in-person sort of meeting, conversation, and it must have been Ilya going, look, I'm committing to 155, and then literally they gave me all right, it's Diego in Miami, and I'm like, all right, sweet, beautiful, whatever. At that stage, obviously I wanted just a fight by then, so it was getting to a stage where I was like, I just want to fight now. It was always Ilya. Wanted Ilya, wanted the rematch. Obviously that's going to be a big driving factor for me, losing to him and wanting that win back. So that's all I wanted it for a while. And then it got to a point where I didn't know what was happening. I was like, all right, now just give me whatever for the belt now. So that's sort of where we're at. So.
All right, there's my conversation with Alex, the great Volkanovski, from about a month and a half or so ago. He is back this weekend, headlining UFC 314. That was Gunther. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. What a guy, thoughtful, articulate, a throwback, if you will. And he returns, well, at WrestleMania in about 10 days' time, either night 1, night 2 against Jey Uso. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to speaking to our next guest. He is the man who was victorious in the main event of UFC Mexico City just about 2 weeks ago. Finally got that win in Mexico City, which I know was huge for him. He was emotional afterwards. Big, dominant win over Steve Erceg. Now 2 in a row, 2 very dominant and impressive wins for the former champ and perhaps soon-to-be future champ as well. He's the assassin, baby. He's the one and only Brandon Moreno, kind enough to join us. There he is. Hello, Brandon. How are you?
Let's go, man.
¿Cómo estás?
Introduction as always. Thank you. Muy bien, hermano. ¿Y tú?
Más o menos. Un poquito.
Nice.
Yes. By the way,
Bueno,
is this new on your right? These cards?
Not really, man. Maybe I'm using a bigger screen, but no, I mean that's my cards collection.
Wow, all Pokemon?
This one, yes, all Pokemon cards.
Which is the most expensive, the most special one?
In my collection is this one.
Charizard?
No, it's this one.
What is that? What is it called?
Umbreon.
SA10. What, approximately how much, you say?
Like 2,000.
Wow. Is that did you buy it for that much, or did you get it in a pack and it was?
I don't know. So I bought the single and I sent it to PSA to grade it, and we made it.
Wow, that's amazing. So is that your favorite one?
No, my favorite one is this one. It's not that crazy expensive, but I love it. This is very cool as well.
And what is that one called?
It's a Jengar, first generation Pokemon.
Is that your favorite evolution of Eevee?
This one?
I don't know. They told me to ask that. I don't even know what that means.
So this one is an evolution from Eevee.
Oh,
but no. The fire one. Flareon is my favorite.
Okay, I was trying to sound cool,
funny, man.
but I blew it. I'm sorry. Flareon, yeah, I love the Flareon.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, my collection is growing up the last month.
It's beautiful.
I'm happy for that.
Well, congratulations on the collection. Congratulations on the win. You finally win in Mexico City. Does it feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders?
Thanks God, man. Kind of, like my coaches were saying, like, oh, finally you take off the monkey of your back, out of your back. So, I mean, I don't know. All the 5 week, all the fight feels so good. Like everything during 5 weeks feels like right. Like I can't even like explain. But in the middle of the fight, I try to do my best. I know in some points the fight was like a chess match a little bit, but. I try. I think I won very convincingly, and that's the most important thing.
And so when you say that like things were feeling different fight week, would you say or feeling good, different than maybe years past when you were there?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I compare this fight with the last one, last year, so different. You know, last year again, I think it's the same conversation as always. But I mean, I felt so tired this time. I feel full of energy, with a lot of good vibes. The team feels so good during the fight week. The training rooms, you know, like everything was so good. And actually, for this one, the UFC PI in Mexico City helps a lot. So everything was so smooth now.
And how would you compare the PI in Mexico City to the one in Las Vegas?
I mean, they have obviously less experience because this one, for example, was the first event for them. You know, to hold all the fighters and all that stuff, to manage all the situation. But out of that, like all the people is so prepared. They have a lot of knowledge about the game. And I mean, they help a lot, you know, thinking about the last training camps, you know, were so hard to find a place for training, where you're going to stay, the traffic in Mexico City. But this time, everything was so smooth.
I saw you with the great Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. over there. What a legend. Was that your first time meeting him?
Man, yes, you know, and I think, and that's my fault because we have contact with his team before to try to meet us in the past, but for one or other reason, we don't have the opportunity to reach each other. But finally, I meet him. So now the goal is me going to Tijuana and get us some nice dinner with him in the future or something like that.
You know what I love so much about that video that we just showed? The way you hugged him. It showed how much love and admiration you have for him, that you were like rubbing his back. It shows how much respect you have for him.
Man, like, brother, he's a legend. I mean, so my inspiration is to be like him for mixed martial arts, you know, because he's like the god in Mexico. Like he's just the best in my country. So my goal is to reach his status as a legend in the sport in Mexico with the mixed martial arts. And man, I have a lot of respect for him.
And so do you feel like now that you got this out of the way, was this a big thing for you? Would you have been upset if in the UFC you never won in Mexico? Do you feel like a sort of relief that now you can check this off the list? Because your last, I don't know if you know this, but your last win in Mexico was like 13 years ago when you were fighting in Tijuana. It had been that long ago.
That's crazy. I don't even remember that fight. That was, maybe it was my second or third fight there. And after that, I never went to Mexico winning. So, yeah, I mean, yes, man, I feel a kind of relief, but at the same time, just was a confirmation of what I'm doing right now. Like all the game plans, all the experience, all the good stuff.
Yeah. By the way, afterwards, I saw you have a great YouTube channel, so kudos to you. I urge everyone to check it out. Some really fun behind-the-scenes stuff. I noticed maybe, and there it is right over there. You should subscribe. I noticed
subscribe right now, please.
Yes, please click that subscribe button. Any sort of limp afterwards? I saw maybe you were limping. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, no, I'm perfect. So that's crazy, and always that happens, right? Like the last moment, the last thing to do. So what's the last kick of the fight? I was kicking his legs, you know, the Erceg's legs, and the last kick I throw, he checked very well, perfectly, and that hurts. So thanks God was the last round, the fifth round. So I don't have to throw more kicks with that. But yeah, I was limping a little bit, but I mean nothing crazy. Everything feels in the right place.
Okay. He's a tough guy, and he's had a really tough stretch, right? Having to fight, you know, the likes of you, and then obviously Pantoja and Kai Kara-France. What is your impression of Steve now after getting a chance to fight him?
I mean, brother, I knew going to the fight, like he was in a bad moment in his career because he came from two losses. But I mean, he lost with the best, you know. He lost obviously with the champ, with Pantoja. He was so close to win that title. That's insane if you think about it, because he had just 3 wins in a row when he fought for the title. So, and that's very impressive. Then, you know, a really fast knockout against Kai Kara-France. So I knew he will be very motivated to get this victory against me and more, you know, in Mexico City. So I prepare myself a lot. I had a really good training camp, one of the best, and plus what I was talking before, all the training camp was very smooth with the PI in Mexico. So I prepared myself very good, and I had the victory, man. I had to be very very smart because I knew Steve Erceg is very good with the counters, and he was just trying to wait. He was just waiting for me to cross the line and then go for the counter and try the hooks, try the cross. So I try to be very smart. It's weird to me because normally I have these crazy wars on the octagon, but what's fine to me as well. Try to use all my experience and put some calm in the middle of the fight.
You didn't want to engage in a war. You thought that would be a mistake for you if you got into like a firefight with him.
Yes, actually, I mean, I remember the first round. I crossed the line just a little bit against him, trying to put pressure against him, and he got me with one cross. I think that was the only punch I really feel in the middle of the fight, and he got me right in my shin, and I was like, "Oh, this guy is dangerous." So I have to be very smart. I was trying to keep the pressure, but at the same time, pick the right punches. But yeah, man, he's very dangerous.
Afterwards, your post-fight interviews are always great because they're so passionate. There's so much emotion involved. And you talked about wanting to be on that card in Guadalajara. Did I say that right? Guadalajara.
Guadalajara. Nice. Man, your Spanish is?
Thank you. Thank you.
Today.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Brad. That's in September. Do you want to just wait? I mean, that's in 5 months. So does it make more sense to just wait?
I mean, if I think about it, it's not too much time.
Yeah.
Like just 5 months, I can just rest a little bit, recover my body. Again, for example, my left foot feels fine. It's still a little bit swelling, just a little bit, so I can recover that part, keep recover myself, and be ready for September. Again, it's not too many times, so that's a perfect time to recover and then go back to the training camp.
What would be your ideal scenario for that card? Who are you fighting?
My ideal scenario, man, that's crazy because right now the division is so weird. But I would love to fight for the title, in front of my people. I think those kind of moments are those kind of moments where you can be a legend in one moment. Win the title in front of my people in Mexico. That will be awesome to me for my legacy, for my career, and that's it. Obviously, again, I go again like the is very weird right now. Like
right.
Manel Cap is gonna fight against Royval and Frank. Let's see what happens if he's gonna fight against Pantoja in the future. So, but I mean, brother, I'll be just ready for.
It seems
whatever.
like we found out about Royval and Manel Cap, and Kai France has been hinting at potentially fighting on June 28th, International Fight Week. Let's just say it is Pantoja Kai France. Who do you like in that fight? Who do you think wins?
Man, I mean, it's hard to go against Pantoja because he's doing a really good job, right? Like he has, and I say this before, like he has this really crazy ability to survive. He finds a way. Sometimes he looks like tired or he in his body, his face, but he finds a way to survive and win the fight, and that's why he's the champion right now. Obviously, the possibility Kai France has right now is like he has more experience than when he fought against him in the Ultimate Fighter. And man, the guy has a lot of power. We saw it with Kai France and with against Erceg, and we saw that against other fighters. I remember my last fight against him; he hit me hard in the tier 1. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to go against Pantoja at this point.
And what about the reintroduction of Kyoji Horiguchi coming back 10 years later? That's an interesting.
Wow.
What about Moreno Horiguchi in Guadalajara?
In Guadalajara?
Well, if they fight,
cool.
If Pantoja's fighting in June, he's probably not coming back in September, right?
And maybe give Horiguchi a nice how you say in English, recibimiento. You understand? No, right?
Like you welcome him.
Yeah, exactly that.
Would you be interested in this?
Man, brother, like I just want to fight for the title.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fight and do whatever I have to do to get that fight for the title next. But if that can happen, obviously I want to fight in Guadalajara for sure. So, and yeah, he's a possibility for sure.
Is he he has been around for a while? He fought for the belt way back when. Is he someone that, interests you? Is this a name that you're like, oh, one day I would like to test myself against him? Did you think of him, or because he was fighting in Japan or other promotions, you didn't really think of him in that way?
Nah, not really.
No.
I mean, I remember.
Yeah, we may have lost him there. Why do I sit like that? I need to work on my posture, if I'm being honest.
Work on your posture.
Yeah.
Well, we work on Brandon.
Okay. We're going to reconnect with Brandon here for just a quick second. Oh, we lost him. What an incredible resume this young man has. And I stress young man, still just 31 years old. 23 wins, 11-5-2 in the UFC.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, hey, there you are. Okay, hello. Yeah, I was just reading your resume. We lost you there when you were talking about Kyoji.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the last fights he had in the UFC.
What have you done, Frank?
Back to the resume.
You blow hat. What movie is that from?
Billy Madison. I almost put the GIF in the thing earlier.
Why? Why the GIF?
Because you blew it when you were trying to ask about the Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you meant when you were trying to get me to move Gunther's microphone and you were telling me to do this via Slack.
I was trying. I tried all the options.
Why did you just walk in?
You know why.
No, I don't know why. I mean, someone else could have walked in on your behalf.
We considered all the options.
Wow. Was it bad?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was fine.
Oh, jeez. Oh, there you are. Hey, Brandon.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's my internet or god damn it.
Is it choppy for you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's my internet or. Huh?
Is it choppy? Can you not hear me?
Damn. I can hear you.
Okay. You were answering my question about Horiguchi.
Yes, I remember the last fights he had at the UFC, but after that, when he went to Japan, I don't saw other fights of in Rising, for example. So, but I mean, I know he has now more experience. He fought for the title against Demetrius, and that's it, man. I mean, I know
I'm so blaming Frank for this. This is such a.
I take full responsibility.
What happened? Usually his internet.
We're going to make him disconnect and reconnect.
Okay, all right, let's do that. It's been a while. Remember, this used to be a staple on the show back in the day, but it was usually our fault. Anyway, back to the resume. Take a listen to this. 11 wins at flyweight puts him behind Benavidez, Mighty Mouse, and Pantoja, all with 13 for most in UFC flyweight history. So he could very well end up number one. We were talking about total fight time in the cage, 5 hours, 8 minutes, 28 seconds, most in UFC flyweight history. Total significant strikes landed, 1220, most in flyweight history. First Mexican-born champion in the UFC, obviously. We remember that very well, one of the great moments in UFC history. And it is worth noting that this will be the third Noche UFC. It's the first that will take place in Mexico. The first one, of course, was in Vegas, T-Mobile. Second one, Sphere, Vegas. And never before has a Mexican won in the main event. Grasso didn't win. First time around. Didn't win in the co-main event. Second time around. And, of course, neither Merab nor Sean O'Malley, although Sean O'Malley had some ties, didn't win. And so hopefully, and I'm sure he would agree, would like to buck that trend. Let's go back to Brandon. Oh yeah, hello Brandon. You look good.
I don't know what's happening, but we're here. We are back.
We're back. All right, so you're not someone who watches other organizations or other fights. Maybe not even a lot of UFC, right?
I mean, I watch a lot of UFC, but I don't watch another organizations, to be honest. But I mean, I know Horiguchi are really. It's a fighter with a lot of experience now, and that's it, man. I'm excited for him being in the UFC again.
Roy Volcap, who do you think wins that?
Oh my goodness, that's a good one for the styles,
Yeah.
because Cap is very how you say in English, like elusive.
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yeah. Of course.
He's very elusive. He's very dynamic. He changes stance. He can be orthodox. He can be sopa, and this Roybal, again, really good distance, very explosive, a lot of feints. So it's very interesting the fight. I don't even know. I mean I think I can go with Roybal because I fought against him and I know what can he do in the middle of the fight. But I mean, Cap is very dangerous as well.
You're big into shoes. I love shoes as well. I saw. Did you get like Ninja Turtle Pumas recently?
Yes, my man.
What is this? This is
amazing collection.
Look at this box right here. This looks like a pizza box.
Yes, actually, it's like a pizza box. That is actually it's like a bundle, like a special bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been working with Puma years ago, and yeah, they always show me a lot of love. Yeah, and yeah, that's the recent collection they had, and I mean, it's really cool.
Can you buy those in stores?
So they have different collections between Mexico and United States. So I don't know if that collection is in United States as well, but I think yes. And if it is, like, yes, you can do it.
And you did something with like Puma F1. Is it for the F1 in Mexico?
Yeah, I mean, I was just promoting that line of the brand, of Puma with F1, because like that was last year.
Okay.
Was very strong with Checo Perez.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was doing some promos, some photo shoots.
Did you tape any episodes of The Ultimate Fighter with Team DC?
Oh, I already started. I appear in one episode. I don't remember.
Were you a coach?
Which one? Like assistant coach, something like that.
He brought you in? Daniel Cormier brought you in?
Yes.
Wow. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, actually, there is the picture. Yeah, I mean, it's very cool. That brings me a lot of memories. I came from that, so watching all the other fighters like very young, trying to get the opportunity as me a few years ago, bring me a lot of memories. Man, the Ultimate Fighter is a huge experience as an athlete, because that builds some character and some personality. So it's a good opportunity for all these guys.
Like full circle for you, as they say.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you never know. I mean, I would love to be a coach of the Ultimate Fighter in the future. That will be like the full circle now.
Yes. Who would you want to coach against?
Against?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I mean, maybe for the title.
Pantoja, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, Pantoja, right? That will be very cool. I don't even think about it.
Okay, we put that into the ether. Can I ask about I saw that you were sleeping in the hyperbaric chamber, the tent, and all that stuff.
Yes.
Joe Pyfer got sick over there in Mexico. Lupi got sick. You know about it? Did you get any problems? Did you get sick before your fight?
Brother, no.
Tell me.
No, I mean, I don't have nothing to say. Like, my stomach is very strong. I'm Mexican, man.
You have a Mexican stomach.
Exactly. I don't have any problems at all. I don't know what happened with Lupi. I don't know what happened with Joe Pyfer, but I don't have like any problems. I'm talking about the pain you mentioned it. Yeah, I mean that I think so. I think it was three things. I was running like crazy, starting in Vegas. I was using the hyperbaric chamber at the Apex, and I was doing the hyperbaric tent in my home. Taking naps and everything. So that helped me a lot going to the fight. And I mean, first week in Mexico City, I was expecting the first punch from the altitude. Never came. First week I was doing the sparring. I was doing my regular training sessions. And I feel amazing. That gave me a lot of confidence, actually.
Some people I saw were a little bit upset with what Joe had to say about being in Mexico. Did you see his comments, and did you feel the same way? That's a great job.
Oh, I saw his comment. The only thing I can say is like, it's fine. We don't need him as well, so it's mutual.
Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it at that. Brandon, great performance. Well done. 2 great performances in a row now. You're on a roll. And it's great to see.
Thank you so much, brother.
And I hope you get to fight on that Noche UFC card in September, hopefully for the belt as well. So let's see what happens. Let's see how it plays out.
Man, let's see what happens, man. At the end, I'm just enjoying this again. And that made me feel very happy, That's giving me much better performances. And that's it. I'm going to push a lot for the title fight. If not, let's see what happens. But Brandon is coming. He's coming back, and he's ready.
I love it. Thank you, Brandon. All the best to you.
Let's go, man. Have a nice day.
You too. There he is, the great Brandon Moreno, the assassin baby. And what he said at the very end there is 100% the most important. You'll recall that at one time he didn't really seem to be, in love with the sport or in a great place as far as the sport is concerned. He appears to be in a great place, and I do believe a lot of credit should go to Saif Saud, who's done a fantastic job with him since he moved over to his team, Fortis MMA in Dallas. And I do believe that Brandon's win 2 weeks ago was Saif's 101st win in the UFC as far as cornering, coaching UFC fighters, which I think is very significant as well. UFC 314, just days away now. 3 days. Is that possible? 3 days to be exact. Yeah, I guess that is possible. Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday, Friday to Saturday. One of the interesting fights on the card pits Chase Hooper and Jim Miller. Now, take a listen to this. Chase Hooper, 15-3-1, is fighting 56-fight veteran Jim Miller. There's a 16-year age gap between the two of them. When Miller made his MMA debut, that was back in 2005, Hooper was 5 years old. When Miller made his UFC debut back in 2008, Hooper was 9 years old. Could you believe that? Miller has 21 career wins via submission. That's more than all of Hooper's fights combined. And, of course, Hooper has never been submitted in his pro career. Only 3 people, by the way, have submitted Jim Miller. That's Charles Oliveira, Mike Chiesa, and Nathan Diaz. This, the second legend that Hooper faces in a row. He just fought and beat quite convincingly Clay Guida. He hopes to do the same this Saturday at the Kaseya Center in Miami. He's kind enough to join us after a busy media day. There he is. Hello, Chase. How are you?
Hey, good. Yeah. Like you were saying, just got done with all the media day stuff. Trying to enjoy a little bit of time outside. It's nice weather. So
I ruined it.
Having a hell of a time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bringing you back inside. But I see that you're very local. Is that a Marlins jersey?
Yeah, actually, I threw out the first pitch at a Marlins game a couple years ago for Fight Pass.
And so you brought it back.
Yeah, I was like, when else am I going to be able to wear a Marlins jersey? It sat in my garage for a couple years, and then, hey, found a time.
By the way, off the top of my dome, I don't recall how you did. We've seen some horrible first pitches. McGregor didn't have a good one. How did you do? Did you get it over the plate?
Yeah, for sure. I maybe threw it a little high, like it wasn't in the like box or whatever they aim for, but it made it. It made it to the catcher.
And did you go from the top of the mound?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay. Because some people say
did it correct.
Okay, wow, you didn't take any shortcuts. Respect.
Yeah.
Because some people say go on the bottom of the mound because at least you're like eye level with the catcher. You know, you're a pro athlete, so I would expect nothing less. I don't know if we connected with you when I was reading all that stuff about like the age difference. I'm sure you're aware of it, 16 years, all that stuff. But it's kind of wild. Like he made his MMA debut when you were 5, his UFC debut when you were 9. This is insanity.
Hey, I mean, Clay was probably similar. It's one of these things where like, yeah, I don't know. Like I have to kind of shed that respect in that sort of way. It'd be like, okay, well, you know, I fought a guy that's also been in the game that long, and like the flip side being like, just how many miles is that? Like Jim fights, you know, not the most conservatively. He's not like a Wonder Boy where he's like pointing guys. He's like in there. He's in the mix, brawling a lot. So I imagine that's not great for your body. So that's, I guess, not counting on him, you know, breaking down in the cage, but you know, he definitely has some injuries, and that's not going to be a benefit for his side.
Is this a fight that you've thought of? Oh, it would be nice to mix it up with this guy.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the lead up to this fight, people were like, "Oh, he called him out after the last fight," where it's like I didn't actually even call him out. It was somebody in the post-fight press conference that was like, "Oh, hey, what do you think about fighting Jim Miller?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I mean, whatever, you know."
That was it.
And then it's like, "Oh, Chase Hooper calls out Jim Miller," and then it's like, "Hey, UFC makes the fight, so I mean, I'll take it." I mean, yeah, I feel like a good step up from Clay. Left-handed, which is fun. Good grappler. And I've been saying this, like I feel that it's true, is that he's the best overall guy that I've ever fought, as far as like great, on the feet, pretty good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, like just a guy that can take the fight anywhere and be dangerous still. Like, yeah, I feel like he's the most well-rounded guy that I fought. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes, but I'm looking forward to mixing it up with him. And yeah, I mean, it's another feather in the cap. If I get this win, it's a huge deal.
Do you like this gimmick, being the, for lack of a better term, legend killer?
Being the third Paul brother, I guess I'll have to go blonde.
I mean, I don't know if it's quite that dramatic, but Randy Orton in WWE was once known as the legend killer. Do you want to be this guy, just sort of like knocking off all these guys? Because Clay has since left the UFC.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where like that's the harsh reality of the sport, I guess, is that my success and my family are provided for off of me hurting other people physically, which kind of sucks in some ways, because like I like Clay, like he's a nice guy, like we were chatting it up all week and like that type of thing. So it's like it's one of these things where it's just business, and like whoever they put in front of me, I'll take the matchup. I do hope to hopefully get some younger guys maybe after this, maybe get this win and then get another one of these, because there's so many young guys on hot streaks right now. Get one of those car crashes going and see what happens. Start getting my way up into the rankings.
Yes. Do you feel like you don't get, in retrospect, the respect that you deserve when you beat someone who is that much older than you, if you beat them?
I think maybe to an extent. But that's just, I don't know. You can only care so much about what the fans have to say.
Yeah.
The real people that are paying me are UFC. And, the thing about the Clay matchup specifically is, and my coach was telling me this before the fight, which it can either add pressure or not. He's like, just so you know, like Clay's, 42, and you have to make it look like he's 42. Like you can't go in there and have a competitive fight with this guy. Like you need to like have it be definitive, or else like, it's gonna drive your stock down, that type of thing. So, and I'm not expecting an easy fight from Clay, but and yeah, I mean, it's not like I fought just old guys. Like the last guy I fought that was my age was my debut at 55, and I put up one of the most strikes in lightweight history in a non-5-round fight. So it's like even against the younger guys, at least at this point, I'm still doing the work and still putting it in. But yeah, I mean, I would think it's more just the name factor and the nostalgia factor for people. They're like, damn, this guy's gonna, potentially beat this guy that I grew up watching, which, I did the same. I also watched these guys growing up, but you can't have that reverence in this sport, not for guys in your same weight class.
Mm-hmm. I hope you don't mind me breaking the fourth wall here, but for a moment there, I was like, to his left, is that a crib? And then I saw a head bobbing up and down, and I'm like, oh, hello, how are you?
There's a wife and a baby.
Yes. So the baby's sleeping in the same room as you are.
Yeah, I figured out that I like having life feel as normal as possible during these times.
Okay.
Like I've done the thing where it's like, the wife only comes out, Thursday, Friday, whatever, kind of after we're done with the cut. But I just enjoy having it feel like normal life. Like, my training partners and stuff, they're out exploring Miami, but, I'm here in the room with the wife and the baby, and like, it feels normal. And I feel like that kind of helps bring you back to reality a little bit. Cause you can kind of get lost in the sauce, so to speak, of all the fight week stuff. Like, especially like the media day stuff, having people follow you around, doing all the pictures, all the interviews. Like it makes you feel like, oh, this is like something like a big deal. So I feel like it's nice to kind of ground myself a little bit and not get too worked up over nothing. Like, yeah, I don't know, just have it feel normal still as much as we can.
When did you start doing this? Because I know your baby is quite young, but you are on a streak as of late, 4 in a row. So I'm wondering if this coincides.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when she started coming out. Probably close to when I moved up to lightweight. She might have been out for my last one at 45. But yeah, I mean the past 5-6 fights. So yeah, probably pretty similar. But I think it makes life easier. And then just having as much as we want to be tough guys, like you do want a little bit of the like home comfort type stuff. Especially going through the weight cut, like. You just feel terrible. You're not eating anything. You're not drinking anything. So it's nice to have, the wife and the baby here and just, feel normal for a change,
And your wife is no slouch as well. I believe she's a purple belt, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's back on the mats now after the baby.
Love it. Pro fighter down the line, or do we stop at jiu-jitsu?
Hopefully no fighting for either of them.
Okay.
Personally, I just don't want my daughter to be a stripper or an MMA fighter. That's kind of the same level to me.
That's where wow, same level, really.
I mean, you're dancing around in your underwear for people's entertainment, are you not?
I guess.
Both of those gigs. No, I mean, MMA is getting more there for sure, but I just, like if I had a son and he wanted to fight, that'd be different. But a daughter, like, I guess it's just a natural, like you want to protect him. And like, I think anybody in this sport will tell you is like, if I fight for my whole career to provide for my family and then they turn around and do the same thing, and it's like, you kind of feel like you left a little on the table, I guess. Like, hopefully me fighting will mean that they don't have to fight in the future. I feel like that's kind of the deal. They won't have to trade their physical health and their brain health for money. And that's my goal.
I appreciate that and respect that. There's obviously some pressure when you have your family in attendance. You want to keep winning and succeeding. I'm wondering if there's added pressure to win on Saturday because Tyler wants to name his bird after you, and if you don't win, you don't get that honor. So is that on your mind?
Yeah, so that definitely added to the pressure a little bit. We try to keep it cool in here, but you get some stuff like that, and it's funny, like some of the emails you'll get, like, I get some from like, there was like an Indian guy that was like, I can throw 10 punches in 1 second. Like, look at my video. And he definitely didn't throw 10 punches in a second, but respect. And it's just funny, like people will, because you have your business email out there, whatever, and then
how many of these do you
fans
get?
will trickle through. Definitely more after I posted that screenshot because I didn't really care to censor out my email because I have it on my social media anyways. But yeah, people were sending, funny stuff. Somebody said they were going to kill Tyler's bird.
Oh God.
For me. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't reply to that one. I don't want to encourage that, but, TBD.
I would say, low key, as the kids like to say, you're quite prolific on social media, just with the tweets. Like it's nothing too crazy. It's not memes, this and that, but I enjoy the tweets. I enjoy your commentary. And I do have to say, one of the big talking points on this program is we love the fights. We love watching the fights. The Apex has been a bit of a sore subject, and you weighed in on the Apex as well, which I thought was super interesting, coming from a fighter who has competed in the Apex, out of the Apex. And this was after Mark Shapiro said that, we can't tell if we're watching an event at the Apex or anywhere in the world, and this was coming off the Seattle card. I give you a lot of respect for saying what you did, because I feel personally like the Apex events are at times hard to watch. They're a little bit soulless, and that excitement just isn't there. That buzz isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. During COVID, it was, you had to do it, obviously. And I'm very thankful that was an option. And I feel like for myself, like being newer in my career at that point, like my second fight to my, third or fourth fight were all in the Apex. And I did one in Phoenix and then back to the Apex for a little bit. And then we've been out the past two. This will be my third one out of the Apex. But the energy is just so much different. Like in the Apex, yeah, again, it's kind of like a sparring session. Like you get done and you're like, okay, well, what now? Like the high, I guess, fades away a lot quicker. Whereas, in the arena, you got the roar of the crowd, like that just pumps the energy up so much more. And like, I feel that the fans can definitely feel it on TV because of the fact that the fighters, I think, fight harder with that type of energy from the crowd, And it's just the way they stack the Apex cards. I feel like there's some filler fights in there for sure. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy that the Apex was there for when we needed it. But now I feel like getting on the road has been more than worth it. And yeah, hopefully they see the same.
This will be now your third fights outside of the Apex, third fight in a row. Are you comfortable enough at this point, if they offer you an Apex fight, to say I'd rather not?
Well, honestly, just like when we were talking with them for this fight, they were like, "Hey, like what what kind of dates or whatever are available?" And just figuring that stuff out. And it was just like, "Hey, like if we could just not have it at the Apex, that'd be cool." And it sounds like the matchmakers were like, "Oh yeah, we get that for sure." But it really depends on the fight. I love the Apex for the comfort of it. It's like exactly like, okay, I know exactly how much space I have to warm up. I know Vegas is so well right now. Like by this point, you're like, we have the entire PI staff. We have the sauna at the PI. Like everything is so easy with that. But again, like you're sacrificing the comfort for the excitement and the hype that comes with being able to be in an arena. And UFC is a sport that's again meant to be in arenas. Like they've been selling out all these cards, just again proving that the fans are there. And I think the COVID cards helped, like being one of the only sports I was on at the time. But yeah, let's get back on the road and keep doing stuff like this. Like the St. Louis show that I was on last May was the biggest gate at that time, or the biggest attendance for a fight night. And then the Seattle show back in February, just a couple months ago, did the same thing. Like it broke that record. Like it's crazy. All these fan records are being broken. Like it should be such a big signal for UFC to be like, yes, let's get on it. Like UFC is bigger than ever right now. People like to complain about like, oh, there's no stars, but I mean, there's plenty of good fights to be made. The only issue is Connor's probably not fighting again, but just based on my own perception. But yeah, I mean, UFC is in a great spot right now, I feel.
I agree. They're on fire. I'm not going to ask you for a prediction because obviously you're going to say that you're going to win. And so because you're so thoughtful when it comes to fighting, can I get 3 predictions for the top of the card? Volkanovski, Lopez.
So that one, I feel that Volk is obviously one of the best 45ers in history, and his resume shows that. But the 2 KO losses being a little older, that's the wild card in here. I'm still gonna take Volk just because I think he's such a vet that he can maybe avoid that. I think his defense is good enough to swing with Lopes, and I think his counter wrestling is good enough to not get jitzed up. I'm taking Volk.
Chandler, Pimblett.
Another one where I think this is the easiest fight they could have given Patty in the top 10, top 5. If we get the Michael Chandler that fought Charles Oliveira, the one with, minimal grappling, not using his wrestling at all, I think Patty takes it, probably by decision. But yeah, I mean, I think he's just so short. I'm taking Patty over Chandler all day.
And what about Pitbull against Rodriguez?
Yeah, I think that's a fun matchup too. Like that's one that and I've been seeing Pitbull around all week, so I guess I have to pull for him. But honestly, the real winner of that fight's going to be the fans. I can't really pick. Yeah, your style is so crazy, but Pitbull is just such a dog, so to speak. But yeah, that's a hell of a fight. I'm so happy for that matchup. I want to watch it.
Okay, because you sat on the fence, Bryce Mitchell, John Silva.
Okay. So if you watched the card last week, it was Pat Sabatini and Brito. I feel like that this weekend's fight is a very similar fight to that. I don't think Gene Silva's going to maybe respect Bryce's grappling. And, Bryce has been in there with a guy like Edson Barbosa. I mean, he obviously got KO'd by Emmett, and he had a rough fight with Topuria. But I think that his grappling is going to be, really tough for Gene to deal with. Like, we haven't really seen a ton of grappling out of the Fighting Nerds guys. And Bryce has just got such a weird style. I think I'm taking him on that.
All right. Well, can't wait for your fight as well. I appreciate you taking out some time to talk to us after a busy day. Enjoy the time with the family. Enjoy everything that fight week brings. And, of course, good luck on Saturday. Thanks for joining us, Chase. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Great talking to you.
You're the man. There he is, the great Chase Hooper, looking to make it 5 in a row against one Jim Miller, legend of the game. That's a really fun matchup. The whole card is very fun. A quick look at the card before we wrap things up. It's UFC 314. It goes down this Saturday at the Kaseya Center in Miami. Those are the early prelims. Some recognizable names. Then you get to the main prelims, I guess you can say. Elkins, Julian Erosa. There's Miller, Hooper, Yan Xiaonan against Virna Jandiroba. An important fight in the strawweight division. And, of course, Dan Ige, Sean Woodson. Main card, well, you can watch it with the boys. They'll be doing a watch party beginning at 9:45 p.m. Eastern right here on this channel. Nikita Krylov against Dominic Reyes. Reyes has come all the way back. Yair Rodriguez against Patricio Pitbull. And there's been some spiciness I see at Media Day between Rodriguez and Lopez. Bryce Mitchell against John Silva. Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett. 5-round fight, co-main event. Massive implications, of course. And then there's the big one for the vacant featherweight title, Volkanovski, Lopez. Do you guys think we get some sort of resolution to the Topuria situation between now and the time those two fight? What do you say? True or false?
False.
False, yeah.
My official prediction is International Fight Week main event announced on the broadcast.
Okay. I mean, it's getting close. This would be the time to do it, right?
False.
Yeah.
False.
And I think it's DDP Hamzat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's my official prediction.
Oh, really?
A nice little swerve.
Okay,
So
so
we don't get a Topuria resolution.
Wow.
But we do get the International Fight Week main event.
Gosh, okay. You
That
double
happens,
swerved me.
clip it off.
Yeah.
I mean, Mystic Connor over here. And if not, this conversation never happened.
All right. Well, that was fun stuff. Appreciate him doing that with the baby in the room, and
The man.
respect to him to, like fight week. Some fighters would say this is my chance to sleep, to, cut everything out, just be focused. He's just a really likable guy and a very easy guy to root for. Very, again, I like the thoughtful guys. I like the guys who, care when speaking to you and try to give you legit answers. So I appreciate him very, very much. We do have some super chats, I do believe.
Damn right, super chats.
All right, what do we got?
So starting with the first question. Now, actually, this is from Jake from Witty City. He says, "Happy 20th anniversary today to Bonar versus Griffin."
Oh gosh, that is unfortunate.
Bonner.
But golly, one of the all-time great fights. Stephan Bonner, may he rest in peace. Without that fight, maybe we aren't here speaking of UFC 314. 20 years ago today, unbelievably, on Spike TV. A lot of people don't remember that the main event that night was Rich Franklin against Ken Shamrock. And a lot of people don't remember that the very first Ultimate Fighter winner was... Who was it? Rick, do you remember?
The first Ultimate Fighter was Diego, and it was Bonner, and then Griffin got the contract as well.
No. Yeah, but who did... Yeah, like the first finale.
Between the coaches.
Yeah. No. Like the first Ultimate Fighter finale fight. There were 2 contracts on the line that night, right?
Yeah.
Diego versus?
Oh, who was he fighting?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I don't know. Who was he fighting?
Ken Flo?
Was it Ken Flo?
Almost 100% sure, but now...
Ken Flo was the runner-up.
Now that you're saying it like that, I'm doubting myself.
Sound right, but I guess so. I believe you.
Wait a second. Did I screw this up? Ultimate Fighter.
I know.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah, Kenny Florian.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Jordan didn't know Ken Flo was Kenny Florian.
Oh, yeah. Middleweight, by the way.
Isn't
that crazy? They fought for the middleweight contract.
Yeah. Wow, I forgot that Ken Flo was the runner-up. But yeah, Diego, and I'm correct, right? Bonner got the contract, and then they gave Griffin the contract as well, just because it was
Yep.
so crazy.
Great moment. There were only 3 fights on that main card. Franklin, Shamrock, main event, won by Franklin, Griffin, Bonner, and then Sanchez, Florian. What else?
Nicholas says, rewatched the Chael interview with my dad. Needless to say, he loved it. Thanks for keeping me entertained through tax season. Ariel, boys in the back, Pete C. for the win.
Now, which Chael interview is he talking about? There have been so many.
I think he might be talking the black and white that we used as a.
That's the Chael interview.
Vault clip, yeah.
Hopefully not the one that we were fighting, like cats and dogs.
No, not that one. I don't think so.
That's a legendary one. The
Which
black
one?
and white one.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say, yes, that is a legendary.
Thank you for watching. Please, everyone, go watch it as well. What else? And by the way, please feel free to go check out our friends over at TurboTax during this.
Shout out to the TurboTax.
The TurboTax crew.
During tax season.
Yeah.
I'm not a big anime guy, but Hajime no Ippo is a good one. It's a boxing one that talks about boxers from the older days of the sport.
Say that one more time.
Hajime no Ippo.
You said it differently.
Bonner.
Yeah. Okay, I'll check. I mean, there's a lot on the list.
I've actually watched a couple episodes of that. It's
good?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Great? Grand?
Wonderful. Yeah, not amazing. But good.
What else?
No lasagna soup. Blue Lock is better than the actual soccer, I guess, but there's much better anime. Attack on Titan will change your perspective on how good a story can be.
By the way, is that true? Is there something called lasagna soup?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
not a life changer, but definitely
it's a running joke. Me and Frank were walking to Wegmans, and I was like, "What are you gonna get?" And he's like, "I'm getting a lasagna soup again." And I was like, "Again?" He's like, "Yeah, I had it for dinner last night. Gonna have it for lunch again now." I was like, "Wow, this must be amazing." He's like, "It's all right."
Wait, so
and then he got it again today for the third time.
Wait, lasagna soup is a real thing? It's a real dish?
I also was amazed to find this.
It also looks amazing, and Frank keeps getting it. And then I'm like, "Man, that must be good, man." And he's just like, "It's all right."
I thought lasagna soup was an anime.
What? Crunchyroll.
Yeah, why not?
Lasagna soup is Crunchyroll's
Frank
competitor.
brought it up in the anime conversation.
Yeah.
What is that? What does your lunch have to do with anything?
He's making the joke like, oh, it's no lasagna soup.
And by the way, I'm not a part of that joke. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sorry, you weren't invited to
this
the
is
joke.
a lunch table
and
joke.
then cameraman Brad came in and we started talking about NASCAR and Days of Thunder. The movie came up, and I was just like, "No, I've never seen it." And he's like, "You've never seen Days of Thunder?" And I was like, "Nah, is it good?" And he's like, "It's all right." I was like, what the fuck is going on?
What else?
Ryan Maddox says, is GC now Michael Chandler waiting for a money race of Brady, similar to the McGregor fight?
Yeah.
He might be watching his prime go down the drain waiting.
Look, people are talking, man. My back is starting to hurt. I haven't been able to do cardio as much lately. I'm getting worried that the bike ride's just going to pop up out of nowhere, and he's going to get me at my weakest.
I
It's a
just
good
love how
point.
quickly you corrected from fight. You're like,
Yeah.
say, no,
It's
don't say
not
that.
fight.
It's a good point. It's a good. I mean, we've seen this before. We've seen it before. Let's see. I have faith. I have faith that he's going to show up. What else, Frank? What else?
Sean Plant writes, shout out to Frank for the Taco Cabana shout out. # yummy. There's a lot of shout outs.
What is that? What is that?
It's basically a fast food restaurant in Texas.
Oh, okay. Texas. 98.7 FM.
Actually, it's
yes.
Tejas.
Oh, yes, that's right. What else?
Jamik Vasul writes, you can only watch 2 fights on 314. What will it be?
2 fights. Main and co-main. Those seem to have the biggest stakes attached to it. I would say.
Give me
Chandler, Lopez, Volkanovski.
Give me.
It's got to be that.
Oleksiejczuk,
No,
SD
stop.
Dumas,
Don't do that.
Virna, Yan Jiaonan.
I'm taking Pitbull and Yair. And Chandler Pimblett.
That's crazy.
Those are my 2. How is that crazy?
Title
What are you
fight.
talking about crazy?
No Bryce Johnson.
Title fight that you've been spending the whole time talking about. It's not even a real belt.
I mean, it's still.
Nah, get out of here. Don't criticize my taste. No, those are the 2.
What else?
Oh, that was it.
Oh, well, usually you've been good lately.
You guys interrupt me when I'm trying to say lastly, and
Oh, okay.
we round the third.
Guys, I got a press conference to host. All right.
All right, see you, man.
So I don't know about all of you. I mean, you could stick around, but we got.
You have something to plug.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we got to plug this.
What? What are you plugging? Oh, there it is.
You can
Oh,
give us a call.
yes.
This is how you can ask questions to us. Leave us a message, talk shit, do whatever you want to watch. Whatever you want to do. We got our own hotline.
Wow. 415 SUP SUP BITB. That's 415-787-2482. You can leave the boys a message, and they will be playing the best ones on the program tomorrow, yes?
Or the worst ones. Who knows?
Or the worst
We'll play
ones.
whichever ones we want.
And hopefully we can
Bring it. Just bring it, though.
Please bring
None of this soft shit. Bring it.
If you don't bring it, you won't get on the air.
Yeah, bring it hard into the paint. Elbows up.
Pound for pound, best pies.
Best pies.
Yeah, UFC 314.
Is pie. Wow.
That's also Fight Feast.
So we're talking
scoured-
like cherry
the
pie,
ratio between
pecan
the
pie,
circumference and
Could
the
be.
diameter.
beef
Could be.
pie,
Could be.
yeah,
chicken pot pie,
chicken
pizza
pot,
pie.
key lime.
I'm
We
either
scoured
one.
New York City for the best pie. That's Fight Feast tomorrow.
Okay. That's Fight Feast.
Yeah,
and,
oh, yeah.
and pound for pound.
Yeah, pie.
Wow.
Pie day.
Frank talked us into it. He was like, there'll be plenty of UFC Miamis, but there's only one UFC pie.
Only one transcendental
Yeah,
number.
no, the New York pies for UFC Miami. I see the connection. I see it.
314, not Miami.
Yes, exactly. Or you could have done best food from St. Louis while we're at it. Anyway, looking forward to that. That's tomorrow. Crack on Friday. Watch party on Saturday. 3-Pac post show on Saturday night. Oh, so much to come. But for now, we say peace. I'm out.